Okay. Hey there. Welcome to the first of what I hope to be many live streams on my main platform. I haven't done one of these in ages, and I have a special guest with me, my good friend Matt, Ramboraph for life. I thought I would invite him to help me along because I pretty much don't know what I'm doing. But also because it's a lot of fun having him on a stream, and I thought I'd return the favor since he had me on a couple streams, so I thought I'd have him on my stream here. So hey there, everybody. Thank you for joining in. Hey, all right, cool, nice, Fredman Mater. So DJ Donnelly asks, how are we both? I'm doing pretty good, doing all right. Been in the thick of a Bruce Willis marathon. Been watching a ton of Bruce Willis movies. Really appreciating him as an actor, at least in his prime. Like, I'm not even gonna touch his direct-to-video movies. His like 50 direct-to-video films that he did. No thanks.
Yeah, I mean, for people in the chat, I can't see the chat, but to those who say hi, hello there. Hope you're doing well. Because when we do live streams, he'll see that, like, he's hosting, he'll see the chat, but I won't see the chat, and it's kind of like vice versa. At least with how it is would be on the phone. But anyone saying hi, hello there. Hope you're doing well.
I got my own Mel Yellow ready.
Very nice.
And if you guys hear anything in the background, my parents are watching Hawaii Five-0, so there's not much I can do to control the background noise. Okay, so this is from the Masked Singer Bro. He's asking me, what are my thoughts on the new Casper live-action series? I didn't even know there was a new live-action series. This is the first time I've heard of that. I know there were a lot of, I think there was like an animated series that was fairly recent that I didn't watch. And I know there was an animated series a while ago that was a kind of a spin-off of the movie. And I know there were the two live action TV films or direct-to-video movies, but I haven't seen those either. I know Matt's seen them. Casper Meets Wendy and what, Spirited Beginning.
Yeah, they weren't good at all. They were hampered by just cheap production values. They weren't that needed.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Kathy Moriarty, who was in the first Casper, she's in the Meets Wendy as a different character.
Okay, all right.
Because she was like the villain in the first Casper.
But she's like a good character, like
She's
good
one of the
guy.
Yeah, she's one of the witches helping Wendy, like one of the mothers, however you want to put aunts.
Oh, okay.
How you want to put it.
Cool. Interesting. Want to spotlight Esteban. Thank you. Got it at Spencer's years ago. They had an NWO one, which would have been cool to get to, but I was kind of limited in terms of the budget I had. So I went with the Stone Cold one. And speaking of Stone Cold, I did watch his return match from WrestleMania, this year's WrestleMania, and it was fun. It was a fun brawl. For a man his age, I was surprised by how enjoyable the match was. It kicked Kevin Owens' ass, and even took a bump on the concrete floor.
Very cool.
So got something here. DJ's asking another question. Says, what was the first movie we both watched, and what or who inspired us both to start collecting reviewing films on YouTube?
First movie we watched back when we were kids?
I guess so.
I can't remember the first movie I've seen.
What first comes to your mind, I guess? Like first memory.
I don't really have a first memory. Do you?
Hmm. Not really. Like I just have memories of catching certain things on TV. I have a memory of catching Child's Play 3 on television and hiding it from my parents because they didn't want me to watch horror movies. So I'd like switch to Cartoon Network really quick when I thought my mom was coming closer to the room. And I'm like, oh, I'm not watching a killer doll movie. That's not what's happening. I'm just watching Cartoon Network. In terms of what inspired me to start reviewing films on YouTube, this guy over here, Matt, he's my inspiration. When I was young, I was very shy, very insecure, very uh, not even remotely close to being sure of myself. So I caught some of his earlier content and I liked it, and I got to know him, and I just decided, well, I'll give it a shot. He encouraged me to, and the rest is history.
Yeah, for me, I started YouTube. It was just mainly doing tributes, really bad tributes. With still
I didn't think they were
pictures.
that bad. I thought they were pretty good. At
But
least some of the Rambo ones for sure.
and then just I just randomly watching people like the Angry Video Game Nerd and these guys at Dead Pit. They did like reviews where they were on the road, watch a movie at a theater. I did just random stuff, and then I said, "Well, just try reviewing." And I think I can't remember the first reviews. I think one of the first reviews I did was Jaws 4, because that's when they were lenient on footage, and I was using a lot more footage in reviews. And I know Rambo 2008, a lot of people saw that review, and I Mike commented, and were you doing tributes at that time too?
Yeah, I was doing tributes. I had like some photo stuff. I think I did some music video tributes. Inspired me to do that as well. It's kind of the end of an era when it comes to tributes, because I had to remove a bunch of those in order to get monetization back on this channel. But and also you can't really get away with a lot of the same stuff now as you
Mhm.
used to be able to do back in the early days of YouTube.
Exactly.
Um, I think I do remember my first reviews. They were very raw, shot it with an old camcorder that still had tape, so I had to like digitize it. And I think one of them was like The Fly 2, maybe. I
That
think I
sounds
might.
familiar. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Flight one. Yeah,
I don't have those videos anymore, so they're lost to time. Like some of the tributes that I did too. And folks, I'm trying to keep up with the chat as well as I possibly can.
you're
I'm
not
totally new
going.
to this,
You're not
so
going to the battle.
okay, all right, cool. But thanks for everyone who's joining in. Um, got Daryl Clark. He says, "What are my 5 Tarantino films and my 5 top John Carpenter films?" So top 5 Tarantino, top 5 Carpenter. Tarantino, I actually have not watched enough to really form a top 5. I need to watch more Tarantino films. Um, I'm actually gonna watch Pulp Fiction for the first time within the next couple days. Like I'm aware of the film, I'm aware of the parodies, I'm aware of it in terms of its impact on pop culture, but I just haven't actually seen the entire thing. I'm trying to think of like what all did he do again?
He did,
Tarantino?
yeah, Reservoir Dogs,
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction,
Hmm.
Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
He did the Kill Bill films.
Okay. I would say the
Death.
only film I've seen Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2, but it's been forever.
He did Death Proof.
Um, yeah, that was all right. Death
He
Proof was
did
all right.
he did Inglorious Bastards, The Hateful Eight, and
Mhm.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, I need to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I didn't see The Hateful Eight, so sorry, Daryl. Like I haven't seen enough Tarantino films yet. Once I watch more of them, I can answer that question better in the future. But for right now, I just got the Kill Bill films, and I know It's kind of shocking, but that's just the honest truth. But in terms of Carpenter, that's hard for me because he's my favorite filmmaker overall, and there are so many films of his that I really really love, and just to rank them in a top five is very difficult for me. But I guess just the five films that I like the most, I guess, in no particular order: The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, The Fog, Halloween. I'm trying to think of the other one. I really like In the Mouth of Madness. I also like Escape from New York. I'm trying to think of what to put. I think I already named five. I think I might have already done five. I might have only done four, but um, I could say like maybe like a tie between In and Mouth of Madness and Escape from New York. But what are your top five Tarantino films and Carpenter films, Matt?
Well, if we're including writing, Tarantino would be From Dusk Till Dawn because he wrote
Oh,
this,
that's I if we're including that, I probably have that in my list too because I have seen that one.
and he wrote True Romance as well, and that's a good
Mm-hmm.
one. Directing wise, I would say, directing wise, one Kill Bill Volume 1 is number one, Pulp Fiction number two, Kill Bill Volume 2 number three.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, no. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's number three, Kill Bill Volume 2 number four, and then number five is, you know what, Jackie Brown, because no one talks about Jackie Brown. I actually liked that one. Liked Robert Forster in it.
I know
Carpenter,
Michael Keaton's in that, and I
yeah.
read something that Michael Keaton was initially like super reluctant to do that film. Like he didn't want to do it, but then Tarantino like took him to a bar and got him drunk and then just started talking all this stuff about how you have to be the one that do this, you got to do this, and then Keaton like the next day was like, I guess I'm doing this movie now.
And that's the same character he played in Out of Sight.
Yeah,
Carpenter films, number one, The Thing. Number two, Big Trouble in Little China. Number three, Assault on Precinct 13.
that's a good one too.
Number four, I'm going to put They Live. And number five, I'll put In the Mouth of Madness.
Good list. Um This is another one from the Masked Singer. It's like, are we looking forward to the Ted prequel series? I'm not. I don't care about the Ted prequel series.
No.
No thanks. I'm pretty much done with Seth MacFarlane. He's gotten really, really old.
What are your thoughts on Ted?
Ted, I haven't seen Ted in forever, but I remember it being like watchable, I guess, but not anything that special or anything that laugh out loud hilarious.
Yeah, I thought Paul was better.
Yeah, I really liked Paul. I thought Paul was a really fun film. Very underrated. Great Predator gag in that, too. This is from Johnny Jerry. It says, would Backdraft be my favorite movie in 1991? There's a lot of good films from 1991. Hudson Hawk is one of them. I just uploaded a review of that, and I really enjoyed that one. Backdraft would be up there. I don't know if I can quite say that it's my favorite film from that year because I need to look at a list of films from 1991 again. But that's definitely up there. I really, really like that film. Once again, hello to everybody that said hi, like Jedizilla and some of the other people who are just joining in, just picking things up, just trying to figure things out as I go. So Tim, he asked Matt this, but he wants to ask me this. Do I remember the 1984 film Cloak and Dagger? I saw it once ages ago. I think I saw it in VHS when I was living in Oklahoma City, and I thought it was okay, but I haven't seen it since, and I definitely don't want to pay $35, $40 for a 4K from Vinegar Syndrome.
That's Vinegar Syndrome's thing.
I mean, yeah, they're a little overpriced, I have to be honest, but at least they do provide a good quality product. Like when you pay that amount of money, you want a good quality product. And when it
Yeah.
comes to some of their box sets, like you are getting your money's worth. So at
Yeah.
least you're getting your money's worth.
But
Uh,
you need to be a flesh eater.
no, no, thank you.
4K.
I'm fine with Flesh Eater on DVD
A
that I paid like
4K.
$1 for. I
Yeah.
don't need a
4K of flesh eater.
I don't need a 4K of Flesh Eater.
Don't have a Blu-ray
Uh,
watchers. Don't have a Blu-ray stakeout, but 4K of flesh eater.
this is from Mackenzie McNeil. He says, do either one of you think, in regards to Aliens, Private Hudson is a more relatable character than Ripley? That's an interesting question.
I do see what I mean in the fact that he's so scared, and a lot of people would be scared in that situation. I mean, he's not saying better character. I mean, Ripley's a better character,
Yeah.
but relatable. Yeah, I think a lot of people would be more scared and frightened and lose their stuff than like Hudson did.
Yeah, it just depends on what kind of relatability you're talking about. Like, you talking about like how he would react or how you would react in a scenario like that? Or are you just talking about like the overall character? Because I can relate to Ripley in terms of, the whole trauma, dealing with something difficult in your life and then overcoming it, that kind of thing. But then I can also relate to Hudson when it comes to like just being freaked out when it comes to a scenario that's just so insane and it's just thrown right there in your face, and you don't really have a lot of time to prepare for it. This one is from Esteban. He asks, what are my thoughts on Stone Cold kicking Trump's ass 15 years ago at WrestleMania 23? I give it a hell yeah. I can't do a Stone Cold impression to save my life. So I didn't even try. It was a fun bit for sure. This is what do you think? Do you remember that from WrestleMania 23?
Yeah, that was when I think Bobby Lashley was fighting.
Umaga, right?
Yeah, Umaga.
Yeah. That's really taking me back because I remember like following the results from that one because that was when I was first starting to get back into wrestling. And yeah, the manga versus Bobby Lashley hair versus hair match.
Mm-hmm. And Umaga, I think, passed away.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He passed away a while ago. I think it was another one of those wrestlers that I think probably was taken from us due to potential steroid abuse or just the grind of the road or just some of the others. So many wrestlers have died young of heart attacks.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely something there.
Yeah.
Jedizil asks favorite action films. There are just so many. I mean, I really like Speed with Keanu Reeves. I like overlooked films like Showdown in Little Tokyo or Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth or Deadly Outbreak with Jeff Speakman or The Perfect Weapon. I really like Rambo 3. I thought that film was epic. I still think that film is epic as fuck. Like, way underrated. Really like Cliffhanger, Demolition Man. Been watching some Van Damme films. I enjoy Universal Soldier, Hard Target. There's a lot. There's just so many action films that I really enjoy. Total Recall with Schwarzenegger, The Running Man.
Yeah,
I could just go on and on.
a lot of good choices.
Of course, RoboCop. That's definitely one of them. What are some of yours off the top of your head? I know it would be Rambo, right?
Well,
Definitely would be Rambo First World Part 2.
Yeah, Hard Target, Aliens, Rambo First Blood Part 2, Predator 2, Predator 1, I Come in Peace, Die Hard.
Die Hard. Yeah, that's another one, yeah.
Just to name a few. It's my favorite genre.
I would say it's my second favorite after horror. This is from Mindless Me. Hey OCP, what happened to all of your Poltergeist reviews? I deleted them because I think they had trailers or some kind of copyright thing, and then on top of that, they were so old that I was like, I could do a better job. And I think I was planning on doing that because I did rewatch all of them except for the shitty remake, like sometime last year. But I just got so busy I didn't have time to record anything. I would like to revisit them though. I'm hoping the rumor that I'm hearing that there's going to be a 4K release, I'm hoping that's actually true. And if that's true, then I'll probably do it then, if that actually does come out later this year. I'm not expecting anything in terms of features because of Steven Spielberg. It's just not going to happen. I would love to be surprised. I am wrong, but it just doesn't seem like it's in the cards. The Masked Singer asks again, what are my thoughts on South Park nowadays? I don't have any because I haven't watched new South Park in years. I think I remember watching like a stream of like one that I think was doing like a parody of the Broncos or some kind of football parody with Roger Goodell. And that's all I really remember off the top of my head. The only reason why I wanted to watch that because I'm an NFL fan and I think I saw some reviews or some memes or something. It looked like it might be funny. But it's been forever since I've seen any new South Park. Have you seen any new South Park, Matt?
Not the new stuff. I've been watching the old stuff, but I haven't seen the new stuff. I know they have.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were supposed to be doing movies or something. I don't know the details on that.
Yeah, we'll see. It seems like Paramount Plus is desperate to do anything. I mean, they're not only. I think there's gonna be a King of the Hill reboot too. Is what I've been hearing. So you're doing a King of the Hill reboot, and then you're also having the reboot for Beavis and Butthead, which is supposed to come out I think sometime this year, as well as a movie.
Ninja Turtle villains, where the villains have their show.
Really? They're doing that?
Yeah. Like they try and do the Penguin, not Paramount, but the Penguin, which is dumb. That Penguin show.
Mm-hmm.
The Paramount's doing that with supposedly Ninja Turtle villains.
With
so
Shredder. They'd probably do it with Shredder.
I don't know what kind of show that is. It'd be a boring show, but
This is from JWNJ. I was going to watch X last night, but I got caught up with something, so I haven't seen it yet. I do want to see it though. I did like the trailer. I'm hoping it truly isn't pretentious. I'm not a fan of pretentious films in general, let alone pretentious horror films. As you can see, like my body just expelled shit like out of my mouth because I'm talking about pretentious horror films. It was just like I spit on you. Just wanted to put up Liam there. Thanks, Liam. I'm doing good, doing all right. I hope you are well as well. Predator is like, is the Alien Special Edition your go-to version like mine? Actually, I'm the opposite. I am a theatrical version guy. That's the version that I saw first. I think it's paced better. I think there are some things in the special edition that I do like, but there's some other stuff where I'm like, that didn't really need to be there. So I'm actually a bigger fan of the theatrical version. And I think that's the version that I saw in the theater as well, with the digital streaming version, where people were walking out of the theater talking shit about the film and just made me really frustrated. It looks so cheap, and that wasn't good, and that was lame, and I was like,
they're big fans of F9.
Probably.
I prefer the special edition. I prefer the longer cut. It's just there's too many good things for me. I think the Ripley finding out her daughter died, I think brings pathos to the character.
Yeah, that is a good addition.
And Hicks having one final moment where they exchanged their first names, I thought should have been left in as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think like the best kind of version to me is like a combination of things. Like you cut out some of the stuff in the special edition that kind of drags things out, and then you keep those like very central bits in more of an edit.
It seems like you'd want the special edition just without the Newt family stuff.
Yeah, actually, yeah. that that nailed you nailed it. Because I just thought that just kind of killed the pacing a bit.
What's
Matthew
nice?
Dice, go
One quick
ahead.
thing. What's nice about it is that when you watch it, if you hit skip, it skips the entire scene. You play one.
Oh, okay. All right, that's good to know. Thanks. Matthew Dice asks, "Do you like the show Ghost Adventures or Ghost Adventurers or whatever?" No, I'm not a big fan of those kind of shows. The fake ghost hunter shows. I grew up watching Sightings, which was like actual like somewhat legit paranormal investigators. So and like talking about like hauntings and UFOs and stuff. So I'm more into that than like we'll fake it for ratings kind of show. Because they do that. Like they go into some abandoned mental hospital and then they're like, oh shit, do you hear that? Oh my god, I felt something. Not a fan of that. I like the parody of it though in the Fright Night direct-to-video sequel. I thought that was kind of clever. In Fright Night 2 New Blood. This is Jedizilla. It's like thoughts on the Wild Bunch.
I didn't mind it. That was decent. Bit overlong, but it's not a film I'd rewatch again. But it was worth a watch.
Yeah, I feel the same. Like I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember it being okay. It definitely was something that was ahead of its time when it comes to the violence. Like it was a very violent film. It didn't shy away from the realistic, gritty violence when it comes to a film with that kind of content in it. And back in that day, like that was pretty rare to see. Just wanted to. All right, so thanks, Davey Vids. Thanks for the kind words. He said, yeah, he's like he watched Ramboraph from all the way back when he did the Thing prequel rant. Found me through Matt. Probably how a bunch of people found me. Predator is like, do you miss the blockbuster days? Yes and no, because it was nice to have a blockbuster that you could go to and have that experience. And back in the blockbuster days, there wasn't really as much of a big online presence, so you didn't have a lot of stuff that was spoiled. You didn't have a lot of like conversations. You didn't have to worry about spoilers most of the time. So that was kind of nice to kind of blind watch something, which is harder to do nowadays. You can still do it, but it's a little harder to do nowadays than it might have been in the past. But at the same time, I don't necessarily miss it because the days that we have now, I have my own blockbuster in my room, and the selection is even wider. So see that's the other thing that I think was kind of a bummer looking back at Blockbuster and places like that. The selection, depending on what location you went to, it could be limited. You could be limited to just a certain select, group of titles. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you miss the Blockbuster days at all, Matt?
A little bit, but I think if there was one now, you would just go in, write down the titles that look good, then go home and look them up online.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people
Yeah.
do nowadays. The internet
Yeah.
killed it. The internet. There's other reasons, but the internet, when you're able to have the opportunity and ability, it killed a lot of business. Just that's how you try out movies, is you have to rent it first. And let's be honest, there's a lot of people, understandably so, that there's other ways you can do it. Some of them on YouTube.
Exactly. This is from Psycho Hobo. What are our thoughts on the Pumpkinhead series? The only Pumpkinhead films worth a shit are the first two. And even the second one has its issues. I would say the only like really good Pumpkinhead movie is the first film. Everything else after that it is either pointless or just bad.
I agree. The first one is well done by Stan Winston. Wonderful creature.
Mm-hmm.
Lends him
Great
some,
Lance Henriksen performance, one of his best.
yeah. I mean, like it's good atmosphere, mood, good score. Has a nice, creepy, weird, like fairy tale vibe.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is Jeff Burr, and he's not really the best director.
No.
I mean, you look at his like Chainsaw Master 3. What was the anthology he did? From Whisper to a Scream or
Oh
something.
yeah, From a Whisper to a Scream, that has like a two-hour long documentary on the Blu-ray.
Which I think you reviewed, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
You're a
talked
big
about the
fan.
documentary. Was interesting, and
You're a
I would
big
say it was
fan of the
better.
movie.
It was better than the movie. The documentary was better than the movie, I would have to say. Although the movie had its moments, but it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
This is from Rob. Is like, what are my favorite? What is my favorite unsolved mystery segment from the original show? The circle. His is the Circleville letters. That's definitely a good one for sure. My guess is he might be a listener of the podcast. I have a podcast. I've been doing it with a good friend of mine named Josh Cannon for quite a long time now. It's called Uncovering Unexplained Mysteries. We talk about unsolved mysteries cases. We talk about other true crime cases, other unexplained cases. It's on Spotify, iTunes, pretty much. I think it's on Spotify. It might not be on Spotify, but it's on pretty much everywhere that you can find a podcast. You can find our show. We even did one on the Circleville letters. Now, I think I've talked about this before. I do really like the Allagash abductions segment. That's a really good one. And there's a few other haunting ones that definitely did stick with me. There was this one. I forgot the freaking name of the guy, but it's the one that involved this guy who went missing and would wind up dead, and there was something involving these $5 bills that had these mysterious messages on them. That's a really good one that we also covered already on the podcast. We pretty much covered like all of our like best or personal favorite episodes or segments of Unsolved Mysteries already. But yeah, I really like that one. I also like the Son of Sam one. That was interesting.
Did you ever do one on the Tylenol murders?
The Tylenol murders? No, we haven't done anything on that.
Uh,
That might be an interesting topic to discuss.
you know
Today.
that one about that one though?
Yeah, because that's the one where that's why we have the child-proof caps
Yeah.
on Tylenol, is because
Yeah.
people just wound up dead, and they
In
still don't.
Chicago.
I think that's still unsolved.
Yeah.
Still don't know what happened with that one.
Yeah, there's thoughts that maybe it was there's some people. One of them might have been what was his name? I forget. I forget the details.
So this is from Jonathan, a warden. It says, "Hey, hey there. Hope you're good. I'm doing good. My favorite Sam Elliott film. He's been in a lot of stuff. Trying to think like what. I really like The Big Lebowski, but is that really a Sam Elliott movie? I guess you could say that would be. I would say when it comes to him having a significant role, off the top of my head, I would probably say Shakedown. Really like that one with him and Peter Weller.
Good one.
What would your favorite Sam Elliott film be?
That's tough because he didn't really get the star in a lot of movies. I mean, I would have
Yeah.
said the Big Lebowski as well that he was
Mm-hmm.
featured in. But like I said, it's not really a lot of films he was in. He was in a western with Tom Selleck that I don't remember much called The Sackets. He was in the 2008 Hulk film, but that's a small supporting role.
He's in the Final Cut, right?
Yeah.
Was that what it was called?
Yeah, the bomb one.
Okay.
It was there, but lacking in budget. Yeah, so he didn't get Frogs. He was a star of Frogs.
yeah, I forgot about that. He was
Maybe that movie.
He was the star of Frogs.
It was fun to see him in that movie.
So, Let's see here. Still trying to keep up with all this stuff. Wow, I'm way behind. My apologies, folks. What would we do if Dwayne the Rock Johnson came to our house?
Sue
I would ask him to stop making movies in the jungle.
That'd be nice.
This is from Jedizilla, favorite Batman the Animated Series episode. Off the top of my head, I'm gonna say Heart of Ice. I really like that episode. I rewatched that recently. Holds up really well. I also really enjoy and am a big fan of the Two-Face two-parter from the first season. The Last Laugh, that's a really good Joker episode. The Clayface two-parter that introduced Clayface, I also really like. I like the one with I think it's the Clockmaster. I think that's the guy's name. That was good. The Gray Ghost one was interesting because it kind of had some connection with the '60s Batman show in
Yeah,
some ways.
Adam West voiced it.
Yeah, because Adam West voiced the Gray Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of ones. Almost Got Him. I've been revisiting the animated series recently as well. There's a lot of great episodes. Then there aren't that many really bad episodes. I mean, there are like I've got Batman in my basement. That was awful.
Yeah.
Try to make a Home Alone version of Batman. That's what it seemed like. It really did seem like the Home Alone is popular, so the writers are like, do Home Alone, but with Batman. What are your picks for some of your favorites?
Well, you mentioned some of them, like Heart of Ice. I liked the Man Bat one with Mark Singer voicing the creature. I also like the Riddler one. Like one was in a maze.
Yeah.
That was a good one. What was the robot AI? It was in multiple videos.
Yeah. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah.
And we made like duplicates. I like those series of episodes. I forget the name of them.
I like the one with the Invisible Man that actually had the voice of the actress who would be in the Invisible Man movie.
That was a good one, yeah.
Here we have another one from the Masked Singer. It's like best to worst movie remakes. That's a big topic right there.
That'd be a whole video.
The best for me is what I call what a lot of other people call the Holy Trinity of horror remakes. You know, The Fly, The Thing, and The Blob. Like those are like the best movie remakes for me.
I agree.
In terms of worst, like The Fog is up there. That one is putrid. Trying to think of like other bad remakes. There's a lot of them.
The Hitcher.
I guess there's just the Hitch. Yeah, The Bitcher. Yeah.
Elm Street.
Yes. Yeah. I still loathe that film, and I know some people think Jackie or Haley was underrated, and he did a good job. And if you feel that way, that's fine. To me, he sucked. He was still awful. He sounded like Sling Blade Freddy. What are you screaming for? I haven't even cut you yet. French fried taters.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and I like Jackie or Haley. I didn't think he did a good job either. Rob Zombie's Halloween. That one's pretty shitty. With the, I'm gonna skull fuck you in your fuck hole, you fuck. It's really annoying too, especially the opening with the kid. I get an extra bit of catharsis watching Hancock now because the kid who was in Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Oh yeah.
He's the kid who gets fucking smacked to the moon by Hancock. I think that might be a different kid though. That might actually be the kid from Cabin Fever. I might be getting that mixed up. But regardless,
I
Rob
think it's the
Zombie's
one. I
Halloween.
think it's the one from Halloween. I think you're right.
Yeah, Rob Zombie's Halloween is bad. There's a lot of bad horror remakes. April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned it, and like one of my friends on Facebook was like, "There's a April Fool's Day remake." I'm like, "Yeah, there is," and it's really shitty.
Yeah, I agree with those. I would add Prom Night remake and
Mm-hmm.
Jacob's Ladder remake,
Yeah.
which I don't think you didn't see, thankfully.
No, I haven't seen that yet, or Prom Night remake yet.
If it counts the Thing pre-made.
Yeah, the thing pre-com. Yeah. This is from DLF Media Junk. What are my top five favorite Tales from the Crypt episodes? I have so many. That's a difficult question for me. I really like Three's a Crowd with Gavin O'Harley, and just a masterful performance by him in terms of a man who's just losing his mind, paranoid. He's just thinking all the wrong things, just assumes that his wife is cheating on him, and she's not. She was setting up a surprise party for him because he's a father, and then he fucks up and goes psycho and kills her. And it's called Three's a Crowd, I think, because of the fact that there's a baby. Um, I also really like Forever Ambergris with Roger Daltrey and Steve Buscemi. That one is one of the goriest episodes in the entire series. Like, poor Steve Buscemi, man. He gets like a flesh-eating virus and just falls to pieces. Um, yeah, I'd have to look at a list of Tales from the Crypt episodes because there's just so many that I really 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 enjoy because it's my favorite show and one of my favorite things. Period. The Ventriloquist Dummy, that's another classic with Bobcat Goldthwait and Don Rickles. Really like the one, I think it's called, trying to remember the name of it, but it's got Brad Dourif and Bill Paxton. They play brothers. That's a good one as well. Um, yeah, there's just so many. Just a great show. I really like The Trap. I think it's an underrated episode directed by Michael J. Fox. That one is fun. Um, Abracadaver with Bo Bridges and Tony Goldwyn. So I also really like the Undertaking Parlor. The Undertaking Parlor is essentially kind of like the Goonies, but like Tales from the Crypt. Because Jonathan K. Kwan, I think he's actually in it. He's actually in that episode. This is from Dante. He's like, "Do you guys like the Parental Activities?" I think he's meant Paranormal Activity. I think that's what he's saying. Uh, I'm not a super big fan of them. No, I've only seen, I think, like the first three. Haven't seen anything after that.
Not a fan of any of them.
I think we called them like the Paranormal Fuctivity films, didn't we?
Yeah, this sounds right.
This is from DJ Donnelly. It's like top three movies with practical effects: The Thing, American Werewolf in London, and The Fly. Those are all three absolutely phenomenal picks. The Thing would definitely be in my top three. Um, The Fly would be in my top three as well. And I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, American Werewolf in London is up there too, for sure. Really big fan. I think The Fly too has some really good effects as well. What would be in your top three?
Well, I don't know if he just means creatures or other sorts. Well, he says practical. So the Thing is number one.
Mm-hmm.
I would go Dead Alive would be in the top three.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
The amount of practical effects, just the amount of
Yeah.
babies going through people's heads.
Yeah, for sure. I think
That's
Tales
the
from the
plot.
Dark Side, the movie, is another like sleeper choice because there's some really good stuff in that, like the gargoyle transformation, for instance. Yeah, the Blob remake from 1988.
Yeah, that would be in my top three for me personally.
I think there was some good stuff in Leviathan as well. Way better than the effects artists and want to admit.
Yeah, exactly.
Is like this is from Michael. Is like, have you ever watched the Ice Age films? I think I saw the first one, and it's been ages, so I haven't watched that many. I just haven't really big. I mean, I haven't really big. I haven't really been a big fan or really that big into a lot of kids stuff lately. It just hasn't been on my radar. Kids cartoons, kids
Yeah,
movies, and
that's understandable. I've seen some of them, but I couldn't. I remember not minding some of them, but I can't tell them apart right now. I remember the
oh
first one being the best.
yeah, yeah. So thank you, Jedizilla. Thanks for the recommendation of the Villainous. Said it's kind of like John Wick. I've heard about it. I just haven't seen it yet. I keep seeing it at like Big Lots and like at places for cheap. This is from Jonathan Warden. Is like it said, "Do you like the film Red Heat with Arnold Belushi?" Yeah, I do. It took a while to really grow on me. Initially, I wasn't like a super big fan of it, but then I would watch it more, and then I really started to appreciate it for what it is. Arnold's great in it, with this deadpan, cocaine them, and I really like the back and forth between Arnold and Belushi. You're gonna play chicken with the bus. What are your thoughts on Red Heat?
Fun buddy, fun buddy cop movie. I mean, it's not in my top 5 or anything, but I don't think it did that well when it came out. But I thought the
No,
two had good chemistry with each other. Good bus chase sequence at the end. Walter Hill directed that. Not
I
too
like the
bad.
score too. Good score as well. This is from Dante again. What about the American Ninja film, the other movies? Yeah, I've seen all of them. I really like the first two. My favorite American Ninja film is the second one. I actually did get the opportunity to interview Sam Furstenberg. I still have a lot of like raw footage I need to edit. I just really wanted to like make a really high quality, like high end kind of video. And I guess I just haven't had a lot of free time because I'm working 2 jobs. So I haven't really had a lot of free time to edit that together. But that was a really cool thing that Fabio and Boaz helped set up that we did, I think, sometime last year. But anyway, the first two American Ninja films to me are definitely the best. The third film is watchable, but David Bradley is not as good as Dudikoff. The fourth film can just suck a katana blade. I that film is ass with its super ninja. That's not even super at all, and the advertising being like, "Oh, it's gonna have David Bradley and Michael Dudikoff, the two American ninjas. They're gonna be together," and they weren't.
Lick my boot.
Yeah, that fucking guy. Lick my ass and my balls. But yeah, American Ninja 4, The Annihilation, annihilate all copies. And then American Ninja 5 is like some weird Surf Ninjas crossover. That's what it feels like. That feels like a Surf Ninja spinoff. It's got the same kid from Surf Ninjas who also was playing like a fucking Game Gear or something like that, or a Game Boy or some shit in that movie. I'm like, what is this? Like a sequel? Like the same character? Now he's in an American Ninja film. And then it's like PG-13 as well, if I remember correctly. The American Ninja films, I'm surprised we haven't seen a direct-to-video remake of American Ninja by now.
That's true. I'm sure sooner we'll.
I don't know if like your wire is like touching or something, because I'm hearing like feedback or something. I don't know if your wire is touching your mic or whatever. I just thought I'd but yeah, I was surprised we haven't got that yet either. This is from I think the camera. I don't see it, Matt.
Yeah, 1 second.
Oh, okay. He's that excited about the new Mario movie.
Yeah, trying to fix
It's
this
like
thing.
it's like, are you looking forward to the new Mario movie? Goes black. No.
No, not at all.
You don't want to see Chris Pratt voice Mario?
Not at all.
I don't know. I'll wait for a trailer. I really do like the Lego movie. So I don't know. But at the same time, I'm a big fan of the Super Mario Brothers live action film. I still really like that movie. I think it's underrated. It's weird, it's crazy, it's gonzo. It's not perfect, but there's a lot of stuff that it does really well, in my opinion, for the kind of film that it's trying to be. Also, oh, it wasn't like the video game. Like, come on, we all know if it was a live action version of the game at the time, it would be worse. Little people bouncing around in Mario and Luigi costumes, jumping on mushrooms, throwing fireballs, kicking turtles around, fighting giant turtles in some psychedelic crazy world. Come on, we all know that would suck. That would be even worse. What are your thoughts on that? The
I have no interest in a new Mario film. No interest at all.
So this is from Cinema Fan. He says, "Have you ever watched the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?" I have, and I'm a pretty big fan. I need to catch up on the other seasons, but I've seen like the first 3 seasons, and I definitely do enjoy that show. Like, the characters are assholes, but they're entertaining. Like, they're assholes that you just like to watch because of the performers and the writing, and it's one of those few shows that we still have that's not politically correct in like any capacity. I'm surprised it hasn't been canceled yet by people on the internet. This is from the Masked Singer. Again, he's like, thoughts on SpongeBob getting renewed for season 14. I haven't watched SpongeBob since I was a teenager, so I don't really have any thoughts, except that's all Nickelodeon seems to have right now. SpongeBob and SpongeBob spin-offs. Like, it's nothing but SpongeBob. Like, you just call it's no longer Nickelodeon anymore. Just call it the SpongeBob Network. The SpongeBob channel.
Yeah, I don't know much about SpongeBob, so I can't answer that.
Do you remember seeing any? Have you seen any SpongeBob? Or
I might have seen the movie because there was a request, but that's all. I remember not minding it, but it didn't make me want to go watch the SpongeBob show.
mm-hmm. Once again, just saying hi to everybody that's dropped in. Shamarlo, he's talking about how the Hellraiser remake will be awesome. I don't know about that. I don't think it's gonna be awesome.
No,
Especially from what I'm hearing. I don't have any problem with representation or whatever, but it just kind of seems like something that's a gimmick, like as a stunt casting. They're so desperate now to get some kind of attention or new eyes on the franchise that should be pretty much dead and have the final nail in the coffin at this point. So they're like, a woman or a trans actress or something. Like, let's do that for the Hellraiser reboot or remake. And I know, yes, the original source material, the original short story had a Pinhead that had no gender or whatever. I understand that. I just don't really want to see any more Hellraiser movies. The last good Hellraiser film was Hellraiser 3, and that even had its issues.
exactly.
Johnny Jerry is like, Creepshow or The Thing. That's tough. That's a tough thing, for at least for me. That's a tough pick. I, I don't even know. I really don't, to be honest. It's one of those things that just depends on what kind of film I'm in the mood to watch. Also, I think of The Thing as more of like a sci-fi horror. not just a straight up horror film. So if I'm just looking for like a horror film, then I'd probably go with Creepshow. But if I'm looking for like a sci-fi horror mix, I'll go with The Thing. What is your pick, Matt?
For me, it'd be The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like Creepshow, but The Thing is definitely up there for me for favorite film. So I put The Thing.
Speaking of Creepshow, Chance asks, "What's our favorite segment in the Creepshow series?" I think it's a question about the film series. I don't think it's a question about the TV series.
Okay, because I haven't seen the
Um,
TV series.
in the Creepshow film series, The Crate.
Yeah, I would have to say so as well. The Crate.
It's just because of the cast and just Fritz Weaver and Hal Holbrook and Adrian Barbeau and just a really well put together segment. I also really like They're Creeping Up on You. I like Father's Day more than you do. um, and of course The Raft. That's a really good one. I also like The Hitchhiker. I know you weren't as big of a fan of The Hitchhiker as I was. This is from Ryan. He's like, when will you be reviewing the Jungle Cruise movie? I have so many things on my plate. Not anytime soon. You can make a request. I'll definitely make sure to add it to the list. This is from Jonathan Lindsay, a good friend of mine. Since I enjoyed the Red Turtle in the Shape of Water, would you compare the Red Turtle to Shape? Kinda, I guess, when it comes to some of the similar sort of things with like like not really an animal, but like something that is not human transforming into something human or being somewhat connected to humanity, I guess. But I think the Red Turtle was more amorphous when it comes to kind of what was really going on. In Shape of Water, like it's pretty obvious it's a fish man. Like it's not like it could be in the guy's head or it could be a fantasy. Like no, that's not the case at all. Jedizilla. It's like, would you recommend Proud Mary? No, I would not, because I saw that film. I got it for like $1 years ago from buybacks, and I watched it like I think like a few months ago. I didn't even review it because it was so forgettable and so pretty much of a nothing action movie that I didn't even have anything to say. There were some decent sequences in terms of the way that they were shot. The performances were all right, but the action, like you pretty much saw all of it in the trailer, and yeah, it's just one of your typical like generic action movies that just doesn't really have a whole lot going for it. There we have Predminator against Lake Placid or Alligator. Alligator. I don't mind Lake Placid. Lake Placid is kind of a fun film in its own way, but I definitely prefer Alligator.
I agree.
There's another one from Jonathan. It's like, what are our top 10 favorite animated movies? Once again, I have a hard time creating top 10 lists because there's a lot. I'll just try to think of 10 off the top of my head. Heavy Metal, really like that one. Aladdin, The Lion King, Rescuers Down Under. I did enjoy Beavis and Butthead Do America. That was pretty fun. The Incredibles. I know it's CGI, but it's still technically animated. Toy Story. Oliver and Company. I do like that one. Oh. There are a lot of animated movies. That's kind of tough. Like I'm kind of Titan AE. I thought was pretty intriguing, and I think it's definitely a little underrated. Secret of the Nim. That's a really good one. The animated, An American Tale. That's what I was trying to think of. So those are kind of what I what I am able to think of off the top of my head. I might have not gotten to 10, but that's about as far as I can get right now off of my memory. What are some of your favorites, Matt?
So does Pixar count?
I think it should.
I mean, I don't know what ranking it would be, but in the 10 would be Wall-E would be in the 10. Heavy
Mm-hmm.
Metal would be in the 10, Heavy Metal. Titan AE, I agree with that. Beavis and
Mm-hmm.
Butthead Do America, I agree with that. Aladdin, I agree with that. Uh, Fritz the Cat, I enjoyed. That was interesting. I don't
I
know,
still need to see that one.
I don't tie with Nine Lives of Fritz the Cat because they're sequel. Like they're both I like.
Mm-hmm.
So that was six I named. South Park the movie I liked.
Yeah, that's another good one.
That's a good one. I liked the Tarzan animated film. I thought that was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Disney. Animated. I'll put Turtles Forever. That's a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? No, I gotta take that off. The Dark Knight Returns with Peter Weller. I'll put that on there.
Yes. Yeah, that would be on my list too. I really like that. Oh, and Batman Beyond: The Return of the Joker or
Yeah, that
Mask of
would
the
be on there too.
Phantasm.
Batman Beyond the Joker, and yeah, The Dark Knight Returns with Peter Weller. I'll put those two on there.
So this is another one from Johnny Jerry: Hard Target or Hard Boiled. Both are really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna go with Hard Target. Just a slight little edge, despite how much I really like Hard Boiled.
I agree.
This is from DLF Media Junk. Question for both of you: if you could make any sci-fi, action, or horror, what would you like to see in it, or would be interesting as a plot? I've had some ideas rolling around in my head for many years, and one of them is like an Expendables kind of movie, but with an alien sort of sci-fi horror twist. So I originally, I guess my idea was to call it Run Like Hell, even though there's like already a video game called Run Like Hell, but it's kind of shit. So you could just like whatever, just copy the title and use it because the video game sucks and pretty much nobody fucking remembers the game anyway. Uh, but yeah, I always thought that would be really fun to see like an Expendables type sci-fi action horror film with like those big stars in like an aliens kind of crazy gonzo a science fiction action epic. But it won't happen now because all these like action stars are too old and they're retiring or they just can't do it anymore. So we don't have that time frame anymore. Maybe you could do it with some of the newer people like Scott Adkins, Michael J. White. But I don't know who else you could throw into that category because sadly we don't really have a lot of like modern day action stars.
Sadly, no. I don't know what plot I would have, especially in today's age. I couldn't answer that right now. I'd have to think about it for a while.
I know you'd like to see Isobar, like them try to make that film, and
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, even Stallone at his age, I think he could do that part. So yeah, Isobar, I guess I would pick that one. That's a good one.
It's like, what do you all think of the Mothman urban legend? Um, it's creepy as fuck. And I did a podcast about Mothman, and I'll probably just reiterate what I said then. If it did exist, it's no longer around. It died, and I do honestly think there was something that happened. A lot of these people did see something, and it wasn't a fucking sand crane. That's ridiculous. Could have been alien, could have been some kind of mutant. I don't something from another dimension. I don't know what the hell the Mothman is. I don't want to know. I don't want to see. I don't want to fucking see the Mothman. No, thank you. I'll just stick with the Mothman prophecies with Richard Gere or the segment on Unsolved Mysteries, and that's enough for me. I don't want to. I don't want to see any Mothman. What are your thoughts on the Mothman?
I don't know much about it except what was in the movie. So I didn't really read up on the legend itself. I liked the movie. That's really all I know about it. That was the movie.
Still trying to catch up with this. Predmator's like, do you guys watch Cool Duders movie videos? I don't. I mean, just not really for me.
Surprised doing them now that he's a director of films like Amityville Karen and Amityville
that
Sharkness.
masterpiece. This is Esteban. He said, "Have you seen Ambulance yet?" No, I haven't seen any films in the theater since Scream. I think that's the last one I saw. Was that the last? I might have said no. I did see Ghostbusters Afterlife. I did see that, but that was like last year. Yeah, I saw Scream. I think I did see something. I was going to see something else, but I don't know if I did. But no, I haven't seen Ambulance. The favorite horror movies of all time. We listed some of them already when we were talking about John Carpenter, and they talked about Creepshow. Like Creepshow's up there for me. John Carpenter's A Thing. David Cronenberg's The Fly. Speed of Cronenberg. I saw the trailer for his new film, like the teaser. Like something of the future, Crimes of the Future. I got chills watching the entire teaser trailer because I was like, yes, I am so fucking ready for Cronenberg's return to the body horror science fiction genre. There's like a ton of practical effects in the trailer too. It looked batshit insane, and I'm like, I am all for this. I cannot wait. It could be a train wreck. It could not make a lot of sense, but it'll be worth at least one watch just to see how fucking insane Cronenberg is going to get. And you can't say that he's not unique. He's definitely a very unique filmmaker. He's not going to give you the same shit. But yeah, The Fly, The Blob remake from 1988, John Carpenter's Halloween, Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street. I really like Shocker. I think Shocker is very underrated. There's a lot of horror films I really enjoyed. The Child's Play. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Like a lot of like the main popular stuff, like the first Hellraiser, and there's just so many. There's just so many, really good horror films out there. What are some of your? I know The Thing would be one of them.
Yeah, The Thing, Leviathan, the original Jacob's Ladder, the Blob remake, the original Dawn of the Dead, Tremors. Yeah, that's to name a few. Stephen King's Graveyard Shift. I like The Relic. I like Deep Rising. I like a lot of movies. So yeah, that's some of them.
From Johnny Jerry, would you say Morbius is worse than Electro Ghost Rider 2 when it comes to Morbius? Yes. I'm just going to say yes. Ghost Rider 2 at least has Nick Cage being Nick Cage and scraping at the door and just being fucking crazy and just ridiculous. And there's a certain entertainment factor from that, despite how cringe-inducing it was. Because I saw that in the theater, and I was visibly cringing in my seat when he was doing the whole scraping at the door. You're like, come on, man. But that's entertaining. I will take that, despite how cringe-inducing it is, because I can laugh at it over Morbius, because Morbius is just fucking boring, and there's nothing to it at all. Elektra is bad, but, Jennifer Garner's nice to look at, and I thought the action sequences in that were better than anything in Morbius. I know Jonathan Lindsay said he was talking about like a rumor of Terminator 4K coming, as well as an Alien box set and Abyss 4K. I'll believe all of that when I see it. I buy the Terminator 4K. In fact, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, why the hell is there not a 4K of the original Terminator? We have one for the first. I mean, we have one for the second film. We have one for Salvation. We have one for Dark Fate. I don't know if there's one for Genesis. I would think there would be one for Genesis. The Alien box set, I heard about that I think like a year or two ago, and that was before Disney bought Fox. So I don't know. I'm hoping, because I would buy it. Because Aliens, I think would look great in 4K, and Alien 3 sucks and I hate it, but it's a good looking film. I'll at least admit that. So it would probably benefit from a 4K restoration as well. But even then, even if it doesn't happen, like the remasters they did for the recent the most recent Alien box set are really good. Like it's not like they're bad or dated remasters by any means. The Abyss 4K, yeah, I've heard that for probably almost a decade. No, I mean we've heard about it. The Blu-ray, it's right there in the same vein as the Peter Jackson 4K remasters of Dead Alive and his earlier films. Like it's happening, we're doing it, and I'm like, yeah, no progress, no anything. Yeah, sure, you're doing it. This is from Will Ferrell, #1. Have I seen Beverly Hills Cop in 4K? Yes, I have. I have the 4K. It looks good. I'm looking forward to seeing the 4K release of Beverly Hills Cop 2. And I hope they port over the features from the DVD. If they don't, that'd be kind of lame. Jedizilla, it's like thoughts on The Sopranos and Breaking Bad. 2 shows I haven't seen. I have Sopranos on Blu-ray. I'd like to get Breaking Bad, but I haven't seen any of them. I think I saw the pilot of Breaking Bad years ago. But other than that, I don't really have much to say. Have you seen either one?
Just the first episode of each, and didn't mind it for what they were, but I haven't seen much of the rest of the show to form a good opinion on it.
It's like, is there a franchise you think has a sequel that's better than the original? By the way, if you hear anything like that, it's just
okay. I didn't know what that was. I'm like,
my parents are watching something on Netflix. Apologize. You get some background music, folks.
Well, I love Alien, but I like Aliens more. I like First Blood, but I like Rambo 2 more. But one that, like Elm Street, like Friday the 13th sequels, I like more than the original.
Fast 5.
Yeah, Fast 5 is a good one. The Purge Anarchy, I think it's much better than the first, because I'm not a fan of the first.
That's a good pick as well. Trying to think of other sequels that are better than the original. There's not a lot of like sequels that are better than the original, to be honest. It's kind of a uncommon thing.
I'm trying to think.
I do like Batman Returns a little bit more than the original. I'll probably then like the first film, so I'll probably give that a little bit of a slight edge over Batman '89. I used to like Superman 2 more than Superman the movie, but I don't feel that way anymore. I actually like the Superman the movie more now. Spider-Man 2. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. It's a definite one for me, because the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man film, for me personally, it doesn't hold up as well as I remember it. And I just don't like the stuff they do with Goblin. I really think it hurts the film immensely because it's just ridiculous and silly, and also the climax is weak. Like Spider-Man barely gets any punches in on the Goblin. He spends most of the final fight getting his ass handed to him. There you have DJ Donnelly's like a favorite werewolf transformation scene. American Werewolf in London. I mean, it speaks for itself. But I also really like The Howling. That's got a good transformation scene in it. Company of Wolves has a very unique one, you know, with the wolf that comes out of the mouth and everything. I was gonna say, I mean, Dog Soldiers, but like, I don't really remember a lot of the transformations in that. I just remember like the wolves, the way that they were I like Bad Moon. I like the way the wolf looks, the way the werewolf looks in Bad Moon, but the initial transformations, some pretty dated morphing effects. But I do like the way the wolf looks.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your favorite werewolf transformation scene?
I mean, to be fair, American Werewolf in London is probably the choice to make on that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't mind the one in Waxwork.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, rest in peace goes to Scott Hall. You know, toast to the bad man, the bad guy. Johnny Jerry's like, can you see Mel Gibson as Wolverine if you played Wolverine in the 80s or 90s? Sure. Depends on how it's written and how things are handled.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could play that role.
Yeah.
I think you could definitely pull that off. This is from the Masked Singer. It's like questions, thoughts on full moon pictures nowadays.
The garbage.
Didn't they make another Killer Bong movie? Isn't that?
Yeah. I think they made like 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah, Full Moon's been kind of on a downward spiral for years, so yeah, I'm not a big fan of what they've got coming down the pike, but it was nice to see them finally release Dragon World. So, I still haven't seen it yet in terms of since the last time I saw it when I was a kid. I have a feeling it's not going to age very well. I have a feeling I'm going to be like, this kind of sucks. But I'm still glad they at least gave it a release. It's from Jedi again. Favorite director's cut? I think off the top of my head, there's a lot of good director's cuts. Daredevil is a very underrated one. But I'm going to go with Blade Runner. Because the director's cut of Blade Runner, like the final cut or the director's cut, like those are the versions of the film that really created a newfound appreciation for the film, because the theatrical version was kind of a mess, the narration and all that, and alienated a lot of people. So I think I'd go with that.
I mean, if it's an extended cut, it'd be Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do like Daredevil R-rated cut, and even like the Jojo Moroder cut of Metropolis.
Yeah, I like that version too. That soundtrack is really good. I think with Jedi's element like director's cut, like the director's cuts that come out
Dawn of the Dead
video.
I would say Dawn of the Dead has a bit more footage to it. Dawn of the Dead is a good director's cut.
This is from movie Metal Rock McDonald. From what I heard, the Halo series and Paramount Plus shows Master Chief's bare naked ass.
I heard.
Yeah, I heard about that. I'm like, yeah, I needed to see some Master Chief ass. That's definitely what I was looking for in a Halo series. If the series winds up being as ass as I am fearing it will be, that would be a perfect way to sum up the series. Now, what are you expecting? You see Master Chief's ass. He presents it to you up front and center. Of course it's ass.
If I never played Halo, you're more the Halo guy, so
I grew up playing Halo and Halo 2, and I've been wanting to see a Halo series or a Halo film for a long time. I thought it could break the curse of bad video games. It's pretty crazy to me that the film series that's an adaptation of a video game that's broken this video game curse is Sonic. Like, who the hell expected that? It was like, yeah, the film series that is based on a video game that's going to break the curse and have like not just films that are profitable, but films that are popular with fans and critics is Sonic.
But what's the one that listened to people?
Sonic.
The
Oh,
people who made this said they never played the game, or they didn't pay attention to the game.
I did not hear that. That explains a lot.
Or if they didn't play it, they didn't want to pay attention to it.
There's so much source material. There's all these novels, and there's all these different fucking things you could work from. It's like Alien versus Predator again. It's triggering me. It's like there's all this shit you could just use and adapt.
But
No,
no.
screw that. We're gonna make some fan fiction based on a game we didn't even play.
The stars are girls, so that's all that matters.
Representation above all else.
Showing his ass.
This is from Psycho Hobo again. Are movies being lazy because of more budgets and advanced technology? Yes. I think that's definitely part of it, especially when it comes to effects. They are definitely more lazy because of bigger budgets and more advanced technology. We'll just do it in post. That's why a lot of filmmakers, a lot of films in general don't have as much creativity as some of the films did in the past, where they had to work with what they had, which wasn't always nearly as much. So they had to have more limitations. So it forced them to think outside the box more. Nowadays, you just do it in post, do it, with a computer, do all this. You don't have to really think as much. So you can just kind of, yeah, whatever. They'll take care of it later. And you shoot stuff behind a green screen. You don't have to work with models and some of this other stuff. So, yeah, I think that's definitely a reason for that.
Predminator on another stream, he's in the chat, said it best: quantity over quality.
Yes.
We need stuff for Netflix. We need stuff for Amazon, Disney Plus, Paramount. If it's made and it's 80 minutes long, we want it. Doesn't matter.
And even with documentary series, because I just did a recent 2-part podcast series about the Netflix documentary series, The Keepers. And it's a good case, and there's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of interviews, but it didn't need to be 7 episodes. But that's where you sort of quantity over quality. Let's just stretch everything out. There's 7 episodes, when really you could just have an hour and a half, 2-hour long documentary and really do a phenomenal job with that. But we got to stretch it out. So from Jonathan Lindsay, is like, have I seen the Rocky IV director's cut? No. I have a link. I think I have it somewhere, but I haven't seen it yet. I've heard it's kind of shit, because a lot of it's just like, oh, take out the robot, take out all this other stuff, insert this music in here and do that, and sounds like it's kind of pretty fucking unnecessary to me, because I like Rocky IV. I love Rocky IV just the way it is. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I did a review of it.
Oh yeah.
And, like from the beginning, instead of Eye of the Tiger, let's put what was the song they put? They put a different song at the beginning. I know Sweetest Victory they put back in, but it's a different version. It's not the version.
They couldn't even use the original version by Touch.
Touch did a different version. They used that version. Not the version that we remember from the album.
Jeez.
And the speech is different, as Ivan Drago talks more, and all unnecessary.
Ivan Drago talking more doesn't sound like a good thing, especially at that point in Dolph's career.
No.
This is from Drew. Who's like, have I seen any Neil Breen films? No. I've seen reviews. I've watched some of Matt's videos. I don't want to cloud my brain, poison my brain with Neil Breen just yet.
Request it to him. Request it.
This is from Johnny. He's like, am I going to re-review Death Becomes Her? Probably not. I think my review said it best. And that's a fairly recent review. I think I did like a year or two ago. What are my thoughts on 12?
He's always doing the Bruce Willis stuff, so.
Yeah. What are
Have
my
you
thoughts on 12
have you
Monkeys
reviewed
of
the Blu-ray?
Jackal?
Have you reviewed the Blu-ray, or did you
No,
get
I
it?
don't think I've done that. I could maybe do that.
Because I didn't know if it
Um,
was good Blu-ray.
what are my thoughts on 12 Monkeys of Jackal and 16 Blocks? I'm going to watch them soon, so I can't really say much. I know I did watch Tears of the Sun. Like there was one day where I watched like 4 Bruce Willis movies. So I had a day off because it was like snowing like crazy, and I watched Striking Distance, um, Tears of the Sun, Hostage. What was the other one? Tears of the Sun, Hostage. I think it was one that somewhere. Oh yeah, Mercury Rising. Watch that. I was looking for a review of Mercury Rising from you because I know you like that film, but I couldn't find it. So I guess you haven't done an actual review of it yet.
Maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe.
There's the one you did it like maybe in the past.
Yeah.
This is from Predator. He's like if you ever it's Terminator and Predator together. That's what we thought. That's definitely it's from Chance. He's like thoughts on the found footage movie Grave Encounters. I haven't seen it. I've heard of it. Have you seen it, Matt?
I reviewed it. It's interesting in the terms of it tries to be stylish, well, like crazy effects and stuff, but at the same time, it runs to a lot of problems, a lot of found footage, character ending wise, all that stuff. It follows the formula still.
We have DJ Donnelly's like who would make a good 70s Deadpool. That's kind of a weird because Deadpool wasn't even a thing in the 70s, so I don't know why they would even do a 70s Deadpool movie. But it's not really a lot of actors that I could think of that would like handle that kind of role in the 70s, like in terms of like a comedic actor. Um, that's a tough one. Maybe I think Chevy Chase didn't he do Foul Play? Wasn't that in the 70s? I think that's a 70s film. I think Foul Play is a 70s movie
Sounds about right, yeah.
because Chevy Chase was on SNL. I mean, some of the SNL guys, like Chevy Chase or Bill Murray around the time could probably pull that off.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you cast for an 80s Scooby Doo movie?
I wouldn't.
I know, right? I don't really know. I think Phoebe Cates would be someone might be a good choice for Daphne or
Daphne, yeah.
Velma. Trying to think of like actresses who are kind of nerdy from that. What, Sarah Jessica Parker? um you could have Matthew Broderick as Fred. That would probably work okay. And Shaggy, um, Bobcat Goldthwait. I don't know.
It'd be very hot to trot.
And you could have John Candy be the voice of Scooby Doo. No, that.
They probably would have cast him as the voice of Scooby Doo.
Yeah, we did hear about the passing of Gilbert Gottfried. May he rest in peace. I was never like super big, enormous fan of his work. Like I'm not like huge Gilbert Gottfried fan, but I definitely did appreciate what he brought to comedy. He's one of the better things about Problem Child other than John Ritter. I like his cameo in Beverly Hills Cop too. That's hilarious. It's like, what do you mean all these tickets, bitch? uh, and I also remember him from Ford Fairlane. Like that whole bit where his character Johnny Crunch dies, and you have that somber scene where Dice is where Ford is essentially it's a bit of a funeral that he's having for his friend on the beach. Like that's gonna hit very differently now. When you watch that. Suzuki Samurai, you Bensonhurst piece of shit. uh but yeah, rest in peace to Gilbert Gottfried. Also remember him as the voice of the parrot in Aladdin. I will not remember him fondly though for shit like Critters: A New Binge. I don't want to remember him for that.
Right.
This is from Paulo Balboa in 1985. Do you have any hopes for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series? No, because I heard that he's not barely even in the show. Again, they're doing this shit again. Disney's like, oh, hey, Obi-Wan show, but he's not really the star and he's not really in it that much. And we're focusing on these other side characters that you don't give a shit about, but we want representation, or we want to want to check off this box in terms of diversity or whatever the hell. So here we go. I don't really give a fuck. I don't care about the Obi-Wan show. I didn't care about it to begin with. After what I've seen from Boba Fett, you got fucking people wearing not really Power Rangers costumes, but they're riding around in Power Rangers segways or whatever the fuck they are. Look like something out of Space Force. What is it, Power Rangers, Space Force, or what the fuck that was called?
Sounded right,
This is from DJ Donnelly. Who has seen more movies, me or Matt? Matt. I'm just gonna say Matt. It's unquestionably Matt. He's seen way more movies than me. There's probably some films that I've seen that he hasn't, but there's a lot of movies that he's seen that I have not. Matt's seen more movies than most people that I know. And that's another reason why I think he's one of the best critics out there, because he's just seen so many. Because there's so many of these other critics that they haven't really seen as much. So they say things like, this is the worst. Like, this is just absolutely horrible. And Matt's seen films that, would turn them white. That kind of thing. Seen shit that'll turn you white. If you're already white, it'll turn you whiter. Turn you into a fucking albino because they're that bad. Just take all the color out of your skin. I just commend Matt so much for what he puts up with some of those fucking movies, man. Like the Kingdom of Var or whatever, that kind of shit.
I bought a time machine at a yard sale. That was the name of a movie.
Like that one, or the one with the dolls or whatever. Some guy fucking around with dolls for 2 hours.
The wet ones for 2.5 hours.
Jesus Christ.
The wet ones.
This is from Jedi-Zilla. It's like thoughts on Godzilla, the animated series. I haven't seen it yet. I have the animated series. I got it for cheap at a pawn shop, but I haven't seen it yet. I know it's from the same people I think did the Men in Black series, which I do enjoy. Have you seen it, the 98 animated series, Matt? Or
not much.
Familiar with it anyway? Okay. From Johnny Jerry, he's like Unforgiven or Tombstone. Tombstone. Unforgiven's not a bad film. It's a good movie for what it is, but you're gonna give me Tombstone. You're gonna have me choose Tombstone over anything, unless it's Young Guns. I'm gonna choose Tombstone.
Easily Tombstone.
Yeah, that's a classic. And speaking of Tombstone, Kurt Russell just got, I think, inducted into some Western Hall of Fame in Oklahoma City for his work in Tombstone, which is pretty cool.
Very nice.
I guess he was in OKC. That's like one time where like I wish I was in OKC so I could go to that museum and be there for that Q&A and maybe get to meet Kurt fucking Russell. This is from the man of 1005 holds. What do you think of the Wishmaster series? It's not one of my favorite series, to be honest. Even the first film, I don't really love. I like it. It's a decent enough horror film. Andrew Divoff, I thought, did a good job. That's some good cameos by other horror actors, some fun effects and stuff. But the Second one, that's also watchable, but the third and fourth ones are fucking shit. They replaced the actor, and the budget's got even lower, and yeah.
Man of a is that a Chris Jericho thing? Man of 1,005 holes.
The Walls of Jericho, maybe.
But yeah, I agree. The first one's definitely the best. The second one is so for what it is. But yeah, 3 and 4 definitely garbage sequels.
This is from Liam. He's like, "What are your thoughts on Jurassic World Dominion, the new one?" I didn't mind the trailer. I actually liked Fallen Kingdom. I thought it was a fun creature feature. I actually liked it more than Jurassic World. I liked where it was leading to with dinosaurs in the real world more, and it seems like they're going to lean even harder into that for this one. But I'm just getting bad vibes with the original cast, and I'm just getting Star Wars, Disney, uh, just Abomination flashbacks and other stuff. What they've been doing with these original cast members returning to the franchise.
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yes, I'm just getting bad flashbacks and just looking at all their recent track record when it comes to these sequels or reboots that have the original cast members coming back, and I'm hoping they don't fuck it up, but I just feel like in my bones they are going to fuck it up. They're going to find some way to fuck it up. They have consistently done that as of late. So we'll see. I hope I'm wrong, but I think they're gonna fuck something up. They're probably like, oh, Sam Neill's a loser, and so is Jeff Goldblum. It's like, wasn't he a loser already in the Lost World? Like, you're gonna double down on that? But
they have a Scream 5. Dewey.
Fucking Scream 5. And they've already greenlit Scream 6.
Yep.
It's already happened. Favorite Arnold one-liner? Mine is "You're fired" from True Lies. That's a good one. You're fired. I really like a lot of one-liners from The Running Man. There's a lot of great gems in that. Here's your friend Sub-Zero. Now, Plane Zero. Of course, the one from Commando. Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired. Total Recall with the whole "consider that a divorce."
Yeah.
I'll see you at the party, Victor. Arnold has so many. Even from Predator, stick around. What are some of your favorite Arnold lines?
See, if it bleeds, we can kill it from Predator is a good one. My favorite is probably, what the fuck with me is a fucking choir boy compared to be a choir boy.
Yes. That's a classic too from End of Days. You're fucking choir boy compared to me. A choir boy. I also really like the stuff from Jingle All the Way. Just the whole like, because of 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Or the whole
you got to.
Or the whole put the cookie down. Eating my wife's cookies. It's just like what's Esteban's like, what is your favorite song by Hans Zimmer? I think it maybe means like favorite score, I think. Because he's not really a guy who does songs, he does compositions. That's tough. He's done so many really good scores. But I think I'm gonna go with Backdraft. In particular, the one that plays at the end during the funeral, and like the ending of the movie. I really love that piece by Hans Zimmer.
Mine is Broken Arrow. I think it's called Hammerhead.
Yeah, that's another good one too. Down, 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 dun, 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 dun. Predmator is like, do you guys think Green Mile is overrated or deserves the praise? I haven't seen it in forever, so I would say I think it deserves a good amount of the praise. I don't think it's like one of the greatest movies of all time, but I think it definitely deserved a fair amount of the praise for the performances and for the direction, some of the other things about it.
I'll say a little overrated.
Mm-hmm.
Good movie, but there's ones I like more, like The Shawshank Redemption.
I guess from Jonathan, he's saying like Roadhouse is coming to 4K from Criterion. Like, is this an April, like a late April Fool's joke? Like Criterion, I would have thought in a million years that Criterion would be the brand that would release a 4K of Roadhouse.
Let's see. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, I mean, it was. Well, they upload April 1st.
Yeah, just like I thought. Just like I thought. Sorry, Jonathan.
Oh, wait. No,
oh, no,
no,
so that's it?
No, I'm seeing the collector's edition on Blu-ray. That's the old Blu-ray. Yeah, it was on April 1st. They put it on there. Yeah. I was just curious. I figured on that. But yeah, you don't post something on April 1st.
Except you release a movie on April 1st, like Sony did with Morbius.
And that was a joke from your review. Good job on the review.
Thank you. That film is just one giant April Fool's Day joke. Like I said in the video, they should have just rickrolled everybody. That would have been way more worthwhile. Just opening credits, and then I'm never gonna give you up, never gonna say goodbye. This is from Movie Metal Rock McDonald. He's like, what are your thoughts on Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction? I grew up watching this show on Sci-Fi Channel, mainly the episodes that were hosted by Jonathan Frakes. And I was a fan of the show before it became a meme. So I knew of this show before it became a meme on the internet, and once it became a meme, I'm like, that's really cool. I'm glad that people have discovered the show or just realized how awesome Jonathan Frakes was in that show with just his like not going to give two shits kind of attitude. You know, like, you thought that was real? No, it was fake. You fucking dumbass. He's so good in that show. Like, the show itself, it's like an anthology show with like low budget production values, with these little short reenactments of supposedly true events, but they're kind of bullshit anyway. But then a lot of stuff that they made up. So the whole premise of the show is that you're supposed to like figure out which one is real and which one's not. And I used to watch it all the time on Sci-Fi Channel, and play along. And it's a fun show, and it's not just for Jonathan Frakes, like the typical sort of 90s charm when it comes to the acting and some of the production values, but definitely the big selling point is Jonathan Frakes as the host. Like, did this story actually happen? No. just I was just like, no, come on now. What the fuck is wrong with you? Paintings don't kill people. Come on, man. Use your head.
I haven't seen the film. I haven't seen the show. Yeah, I haven't seen the series. That's how little I know it. I called it a film. Obviously, cat-sized in a 4K.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I haven't seen the show.
Cover art for Studio Canal. Yeah. Speaking of Studio Canal in 4K, I got Basic Instinct in 4K recently and watched that again, and I just love that movie even more now. Like, that is like the best erotic thriller for me. Like, it's sexy, but it's also really thrilling. Great film. Good score by Jerry Goldsmith as well. I was looking for a review of it from you, but I didn't see one either. Like, what are your thoughts on that film, Basic Instinct?
I thought I reviewed it. Maybe I had a trailer on it. It got tagged because they do that where it's fine for like a month or two, then they tag you like 2
Yeah, that's
months.
what I thought. I had to remove the. I had a trailer on my review, and then I deleted the trailer out of the video with the editor because it
Yeah.
got tagged. Um,
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the film. It's a good one. Good performances.
this is from Tosin Stardom. Any good memories from House 1 to 4, the movie franchise, characters or stories? I like the first film. It's a fun one. William Catt, one of his better performances. A lot of cool creature effects. The second movie, I'm not super big on, but I don't mind it for the creativity. It's also got some cool effects and kind of an interesting concept. Kind of reminds me a little bit of what they were doing with My Science Project. The more I think about it, very similar in that regard. The horror show I really like. It has nothing to do with the first two, but it's an underrated gem in its own right with a great Lance Henriksen performance, by the late great Brian James as the killer. That's a good one. House 4 I remember being pretty shitty, except for like a couple alright effects.
Yeah, it was pretty awful. I mean, I like House 2 more than you, but the first one's the best House. The third one is the most underrated.
Yeah.
It's a good double feature with Shocker, the horror show.
Yeah. Or The First Power.
Another good one.
Some Jedi-Zilla is like movies that you like but everyone hates. Ooh. We really like Daredevil, and a lot of people hate that one. Like we even enjoy the theatrical cut. Like we don't really even have a problem with that. We prefer the director's cut, but we still can enjoy the theatrical version. I love Over the Top, and I know a lot of people hate that film and think it's stupid. I just talked about that with my podcast co-host. It was like, that's just ridiculous. And I'm like, yeah, I still really like the film.
Love the film. Love Over the Top.
uh
Constantine.
Yeah, that's a good one. I really like Constantine as well. I always thought Keanu did a good job in that. I don't understand why people hate that so much.
Rambo 3.
Yes. I don't get it. I still don't get it. That film is epic as fuck. And I emphasize the fuck because it is. It really is an epic action movie. It's like Lawrence of Arabia if it was an action film.
Exactly.
Matt Singer, he's like, should they make a Step Brothers animated series? No. Did you see what they did with Napoleon Dynamite? Did you see the Napoleon Dynamite animated series? I was like dead silence. Like nobody saw it. I saw a couple episodes. Got to be honest.
Never saw a second of it.
And that didn't do well. Oh yeah, Clock King. Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks for correcting me. I wasn't 100% sure about Clock King, Clock Master. Ryan's like, what do you think are the best film adaptations of cartoon shows? Film adaptations of cartoon shows? Like how many?
America.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely one of them. Or South Park, the movie.
Yeah.
But in terms of like other cartoon shows, like I don't even know like what other live action or film adaptations. It doesn't necessarily have to be live action, I guess.
Well, I mean, they did Transformers and G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not really that great.
No. They did
Chippendale looks interesting for what it is.
Yeah, I agree. That could have potential. I don't know. Like that there aren't a lot of film adaptations of cartoon shows other than like Transformers and
well, I mean, there's like Garfield, Alvin and the Chipmunks, like Smurfs, those movies.
Garfield, I grew up reading the comic strips. Garfield and Friends is one of my favorite cartoons. At least the Garfield stuff. The U.S. Acres stuff is not aged. God, that's so bad. I really like Garfield and Friends for the Garfield and Odie and John bits. But the stuff with the pig and the sheep and the duck on the farm, like, oh my god, just no. As an adult, it's so hard to watch because it was clearly intended solely for really, really young audiences. So there's just a lot of stuff where the humor is just so stupid and just lame. There's all these fucking musical numbers, and I'm just like, stop singing. I don't want to hear it. Shut up, egg. Uh, Orson, you're annoying. Stop complaining all the goddamn time. Uh,
Can I ask you a random question? Not
yeah,
dealing
sure.
with
Yeah.
this is bear with me. We see a
Mhm.
lot of these Blu-ray labels, these Blu-ray companies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a danger of it overpricing itself? As we see more and more again, 50, 30, 40 bucks, maybe
Mm-hmm.
even more in the future. Is there
Uh,
is there fear of it overflooding the market, things of that nature, where it becomes
I
detrimental?
I don't necessarily think there's going to be an overflooding of the market because the market is what it is. It's already a lower market than what it once was. I do see potential of prices raising because of just how there's all these replication plants that are closing, and there's a lot of these other things where it's costing these companies more to make them. It's sort of a similar sort of thing that's going on with these records, these collectible records that like Waxwork comes out with or whatever. So I can it's not the best view of the future of physical media, but it doesn't seem that far-fetched. It really doesn't. It seems like it's definitely something that could happen or already is kind of happening as it is.
By the way, have you heard of the Dit Demon?
No, what the fuck is the demon?
You know the
Is
company,
is that
yes.
is that what happened when the the Bigfoot and Night of the Demon ripped the guy's dick off and then became its own fucking demon?
You are on the money because Severn Films, you know that
Yeah,
company,
yeah.
they released the big set of Night of the Demon on
Uh-huh.
Blu-ray
Yeah.
with patches, including a Bigfoot holding a dick that's been ripped off because it happens in the movie. And there's patches
Uh,
as a part of a Night of the Demon set that people could buy from Severn
yeah, it's
Films.
probably already out of stock because a lot of people buy those sets. I don't really go that out of my way when it comes to Severin or buying those
I did buy
sets
the
and stuff with
Blu-ray, but
patches. Um, that's hilarious. Uh, Speaking of, I know John Carpenter is getting rid of his VHS, and he put them on sale, and there was like an autographed photo of him, and like they sold out in 20 minutes. He had like these mystery boxes of John Carpenter VHS that he owned from his personal collection, and I'm like, I bet there's a bunch of fucking scalpers who like bought a shit ton of those.
wonder how much that went for.
It was $80. That's not even counting shipping.
Just $80
Yeah.
for John Carpenter. Wow.
This is from Nemesis. Hello to everyone once again that's joined in or has been with us. He said he would love for us to review Adventures in Babysitting. I think I thought about doing it, and I just never really sat down and recorded the video. That's what I did watch, and I didn't mind it. Elizabeth Shue is great in it. It's
Visit
not the
D'Onofrio
funniest.
for
Yeah, it's not the funniest 80 comedy though. I gotta admit that. Like, it's not like ha. I also really like the guy. I forgot what his name is. He was also in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Chief Coogan.
Keith Coogan. Yeah, I liked him in that one.
Yeah.
This is
Fun
John
movie.
Lindsay. What is your favorite movie in 1997? God, 97. What came out in 97 again? Did The Relic come out in 97 or was that 98?
I think that was 97. I think 97 was Mimic and The Relic and
That was
the Anaconda and all those movies.
Was that the year of Titanic, or was that
Yeah,
98?
97. Because the Deep Rising came out after 98 in January.
Yeah, yeah. The
Nice.
Relic's up there for sure. It's a really good one. That's one I
Um,
would love to see get another release. Like they re-released it recently, so it's no longer out of print. But I would love to see that get like a special edition or something by one of these studios.
I agree with that. I'll go with, I think it was 97. Drive with Marta Costros.
Yeah, that's a good pick too. And that came out in 4K recently, I guess. But I'm fine with my Blu-ray that I got for MVD. I don't really need a 4K of Drive.
Right.
But I did get a 4K of the other Drive with Ryan Gosling. I did pre-order that from Second Sight. Looks like a pretty cool. I didn't get the special edition like box set with the embossed cover and whatever. I don't really care about that. I do not give a shit. I'm fine with just the regular 4K version of that. This is from Predator. Do you guys like Mission to Mars? I really like Mission to Mars.
That's
I
not
even
on
made a
Blu-ray.
music. I made a music video years ago to it. That's how much I liked Mission to Mars. I made a tribute to it, if I remember correctly. It's no longer around, but I used a song. I forgot what the fuck the song was. It was some kind of. Was it the? Did I use the Alice Cooper song? Like, should be on Mars or maybe some of their Coldplay, something like that. I think it's an underrated film. I think when it comes to like the Mars came out around the same time, I would say it's the better one. It's better than Red Planet. And I like the ending. I like the way the film ended. I know the crowd of critics were like, I like the way the film ended. And I just like the film, period. I think it's a good movie for what it is. It kind of had like an old school kind of vibe to it, like a sci-fi film you would see from the 80s or maybe even the 70s. And it's not on Blu-ray. I don't know if it ever will. Well, it was on Blu-ray overseas, but I don't know if I really count those. It's kind of in the same vein as Fortress with Christopher Lambert, which I'm surprised that hasn't gotten another release. Like,
I wonder if that will get this shout slut since they did stuff like The Core. Maybe they'll do
that
Mission
would be
to Mars.
interesting. But that's
Yeah,
also a Touchstone film, but was I don't think The Core was a Touchstone Pictures film. I
no.
don't think. It's Disney. Disney doesn't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about Blu-rays right now.
Yeah,
If it did, it would be a Disney Movie Club exclusive or some shit.
like the Ernest films, they were Touchstone. That Blu-ray's out of print. Good luck on finding them.
I got lucky and got the Halloween one and a couple others from a seller locally and didn't price gouge me. But yeah, good luck. Good luck getting those. But yeah, I would recommend Mission to Mars. Good score too. Was that Ennio?
I think Ennio Morricone, yeah.
Yeah.
Brian De Palma directed it.
Another one from Ryan. Who's my favorite Nicktoons character? I like a lot of Nicktoons. I'm gonna say Rocco. I really like Rocco from Rocco's Modern Life. I think that's one of the Nicktoons shows that's held up really well because there's a lot of stuff in it where adults can be like, all right. Like, there's stuff that you can relate to as an adult, and there's some clever little gags here and there.
Voiced by one of the stars of Reno 911.
Yeah. I remember when I found out about that recently. I was like, oh my, it's that guy. Wow. All right, cool. Carlos.
Yeah.
Carlos.
This guy here.
Yeah. Carlos is the voice of Rocco. I do remember watching Doug, Hey Arnold, Angry Beavers. I also really liked Angry Beavers. It's another fun show. I tried to revisit Cat Dog and I didn't really get into it. Maybe that's something that you have to be. Maybe it's like a kid thing. Like, oh, you're a kid, you can deal with it more. But like as an adult, you're kind of Ren and Stimpy. But Ren and Stimpy has that uncomfortable like connection now with the creator, who's a sicko. So, what are some of your favorite Nicktoons characters?
I would go with Rocco and Doug, and was oh my god, what's that? It felt like a horror. It was
Real Monsters.
No, the dog with the old elderly couple in the
Oh,
middle.
that was Cartoon Network.
Oh,
Courage the
okay.
Cowardly Dog. But yeah, if we're talking about Cartoon Network,
Okay.
yeah, that would be up there for me. Courage, Dexter. Um, oh, what the God, I had it in my head. I do like the adventures of uh, Billy and Mandy, the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Do you remember that one? Codename Kids Next Door. I remember watching that. Um, Ed and Eddie. Do you remember watching that as well? Johnny Bravo. Surprised they haven't canceled Johnny Bravo. They probably already have. This is from Johnny Jerry. Favorite Jet Li film?
My favorite is Kiss of the Dragon, followed up by Fist of Legend.
I still needed to see some more Jet Li movies before I can really kind of get a definitive thing. But yeah, from what I remember, like Kiss of the Dragon was quite good. So from DJ Donnelly, how would you rank the Michael Myers mask from best to worst? I don't know.
I think 1 and 2 are the best.
Yeah, I
Mask.
agree with that. Some of the worst H2O, like one of the redesigns they did, was pretty fucking shitty.
Well, every
Uh,
5 minutes is a different mask in that. So
yeah, like all the masks. You could be almost like all the masks in that.
5 is
Um,
pretty bad mask. 5.
5, yes, that's up there. 6 had a pretty shitty mask too.
Rob Zombie is.
Yes, looked like it was stuck up somebody's asshole.
The masks in New Halloweens are not that bad. I mean, that's not really a
No,
bad part of those films. Is the mask?
no, the masks look
I'll
fine.
say that. 4 is decent mask.
Yeah, 3, it's not really a Michael Myers thing. So,
Yeah.
what about Resurrection? Where would you put that one? That mask?
It didn't bother me. I mean, if I have to rank, it'd be probably 2 mask wise. 2, 1, maybe 4,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe Resurrection, because I never had an issue with Resurrection mask.
Mm-hmm.
The mask. I mean, the worst to me is Rob Zombies, and then 5. Because Rob Zombies
Yeah.
was covered in dog shit.
Yeah. This is from Ryan. It's like, which do I like more, Bobby's World or Life with Louie? I would say Bobby's World. I watched Bobby's World more growing up. But if we're talking about like cartoon shows that had the voice of like somewhat popular comedian, I was always a more of a Camp Candy guy. I liked Camp Candy more. I used to watch that a lot more than Bobby's World or Life with Louie, like reruns of like ABC Family or some of the other networks. And sadly, like that's a show where not every episode has been found. Sadly, there's a lot of there's a lot of shows like that where you just don't have all the episodes. Nobody taped them all. They're not streaming. They weren't released on video. So there are still a lot of Camp Candy episodes that are missing.
That's true.
Have you seen Bobby's World of Life with Louie or Camp Candy?
Camp Candy, I did review a few episodes. That was decent. Those other 2 I don't remember much about, so I can't answer the question.
Ryan's asking like, what's my favorite episode of Futurama? There's a lot. I like the one with the evil robot Santa. That's a good one. I also really like the one with where they go to hell, with Robot Hell. I like the one that had like Slurm, which is like a soft drink parody. That was pretty fun. It was quite a bit. I like the sweet one that a lot of people talk about, where Fry gets his dog back. You know,
Yeah.
that one. That's a really sad one though. Like really, really, really sad.
Yeah.
His dog waited for him all that time. Like, oh my god. And I like the one where he has this like flute that he can create like images with or whatever. And it was a nice, sweet episode that featured a good bit of romance between him and Leela. So those are the ones that come to mind. What are some of your favorites that you've seen?
I mean, I liked a lot of it. There's not really ones that come to mind. The only one that comes to mind is when they went to the robot planet and they were showing like their own movies where the humans were the bad guys.
Yeah.
It was like a
Yes.
50s sci-fi film. That was pretty clever.
The one where they were doing like the soap opera parody, All My Circuits. That's a pretty fun one too.
Yeah.
This is from JWNJ. Seen Targets with Boris Karloff about a war veteran who goes on a killing spree. No, I've heard of it, but I have not seen it yet.
Same.
And JW also let me know that it was People Who Live in Brass Hearses. That's the one with Brad and Bill Paxton. Ryan, he says, since I'm a big fan of Tiny Toons, who's my favorite character? Buster. I definitely really like Buster Bunny, but I also like Babs. It's kind of like an either or thing, kind of like a tie between those two because they work so well with one another. I also like Plucky. Plucky's fun. Plucky Duck. But definitely a big fan of Tiny Toons. A lot of the people who would go on to work on Batman animated series worked on Tiny Toons.
Okay.
John Lindsay's asked me, is the Red Turtle my favorite movie 2016? I don't know. I'd have to look at a list of 2016 films. Ryan, he mentions that one thing that we have in common is that Jerry Goldsmith's our favorite composer, and that's true. That's one of many things that we have in common. That man could take a film that wasn't even a big budget and still like go in and create a great score, like King Solomon's Mines. Didn't he do the score for Link as well? I think.
Yes, he did.
Definitely miss him. This is from Bob Gray. Would be nice to get a good werewolf or vampire movie. Yeah, I don't know if the one with Nick Cage as Dracula is gonna be the good vampire movie, but
I would say to check out Late Phases for Werewolf. That's a decent one.
Yes, I highly recommend checking that one out. A great performance by Nick D'Amici. It's from Night of Snoke. He asks us to Matt, like, what is my favorite and most disliked portrayals of Dracula, Frankenstein monster, and Mr. Hyde? Okay, my favorite portrayal of Dracula is Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1992. I love that film. I know Keanu and his bad accent. I don't even think it's even that bad, to be honest. Like, I've heard better, but I've also heard worse. But it is not that great. But it's not something that hurts the film that much for me, because there's just so much else about that film that's just so remarkable from a visual standpoint, and the score by Wojciech Kilar and Gary Oldman's performance as Dracula, and just the effects by Greg Canham, and there's just so many things that I love about Bram Stoker's Dracula. The Frankenstein monster, I really like the original from 1931. That's a classic. But I also really like Kenneth Branagh's film. I recently got that in 4K. I like that one as well. Different take on Frankenstein, but a one that's a little bit closer to the source material than some of the other ones. But I guess it just kind of depends on what kind of Dracula film I'm kind of in the mood for. I mean, Frankenstein film. Got them mixed up there. They're kind of the same way with Dracula, because I also like the 1979 film with Frank Langella. I think that was a little underrated. The score, it features a score by John Williams, one of his more overlooked scores.
Van Helsing.
No, that in terms of like most disliked portrayal of Dracula, Van Helsing. This is a fucking wimp. This is just a lame Dracula. Like the lamest Dracula ever is in Van Helsing. It comes across like a Saturday morning cartoon villain take on Dracula. The lamest version of Frankenstein, I don't know.
Van Helsing.
Frankenstein wasn't that great in that either. I want to mention the Monster Squad though for Dracula, in terms of like a good portrayal, because I really liked Duncan Rager's take. Give me the amulet, you bitch. And Tom Noonan was really good as the Frankenstein monster in that. In terms of like least disliked, fuck. Didn't really care for Frankenstein Unbound. I don't remember liking that, but I would still take that probably over the Van Helsing portrayal. Mr. Hyde, whatever, like Van Helsing. um,
He was in that. I forgot. Yeah, he was in that movie.
yeah, and then Mr. Hyde was also in the other.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
He was in that, but wasn't. I think Russell Crowe was playing Mr. Hyde in
The Mummy.
The Mummy.
I forgot.
That's a pretty bad portrayal of Mr. Hyde.
I forgot about that. I forgot to put that in there.
Favorite portrayal of Mr. Hyde. Like, I don't really have a lot of Mr. Hyde films that I really, really like.
Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde?
I do. That is a guilty pleasure of mine, and I really do like Tim Daly in that movie. So he's very charming. Like that was, he really went all for it. He went all out in that performance. He had a really good personality. Like, he was very charismatic in that film. So despite, how uncomfortable, some of the stuff might have been for him. But yeah, that's, I guess, I mean, Frederick March, the original, like one of the first original guys who did Hyde. He's really good. Spencer Tracy's Mr. Hyde was good. But yeah, that's probably my picks for Dracula, Frankenstein, Mr. Hyde. Ryan's like, hey, what is your favorite DreamWorks animated movie? I did grow up watching the Shrek films. In terms of DreamWorks animated, I'd probably be like Shrek 1 or 2. I really like Shrek 2. Thought that was actually a little bit of a slight improvement over the first film in some ways. But for DreamWorks, it probably would be one of the Shrek films. What about you? Animated DreamWorks.
I don't remember which ones are DreamWorks or not, so I'd have to see a list to answer that the best.
This is from Jonathan. Like, what are our favorite movies in 96, 98, 99, and 1994? Like, what came out? 99, The Mummy. Didn't The Mummy come out in 99?
Yeah, it came out in 99.
I think that would probably be my pick for 99. Stephen Sommers' The Mummy.
99 for me, I'm going to pick End of Days is close. End of Days or The Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, those are good picks as well. 94, I think Speed came out in 94.
Yeah, might pick Speed.
Yeah, I'd probably pick Speed. 98, Deep Rising came out in 98, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I mean, it's hard to remember all the movies that came out in a year. Deep Rising is a good pick. I mean, right now, I would say Deep Rising for now. 96.
96.
You had Independence Day. You had Twister. You had Daylight. You had...
Man, that's kind of an underrated year when you're listing off all those films.
Mission Impossible. You had...
Dang. I really like Independence Day. I really like Twister. I think I probably have to maybe go with Twister, because I used to watch that a lot growing up on VHS and DVD.
Trying to see.
That's my favorite movie featuring a natural disaster, is definitely Twister.
Did you see that in the theater?
I don't know if I did or not. I know I experienced Twister the ride. I did experience that at Universal.
So I'm trying to see. Yeah, 94. it would be Speed for me. 99 would be Blair Witch Project for me.
Mm-hmm.
98, I'll put Deep Rising, and 96. I don't know. I have to think about that. Too many good ones.
While Matt's thinking about that, Ryan's at, what are our favorite movie of the 2010? What are some of our favorite movies of the 2010s?
Is that 2010 till now or 2010 to 2020?
I think it's probably like 2010s, like 2010 to 2020. Expendables, first film, because that came out in that around that time. Didn't John Wick come out in the 2010s?
Yeah, that was 2014. I think the first one. So yeah, John Wick films that came out in between. That would be, yeah, that'd be my favorites. The John Wick. When did 3 come out?
It was
2019.
2018, right? Or 2018 or 2019 or something.
Yeah,
Um,
those three would be my favorites of the 2010s.
yeah, I would say that they're definitely up there for me. There's some direct-to-video films like ABC's A Death 2 I really liked. I definitely recommend that one if you like horror anthologies.
Searching's a favorite from me. That was
Yes,
2018.
that was great. All the same people, like hashtag John Cho, hashtag starring John Cho. Ghost in the Shell is so racist. Like somebody wrote an article where they were still talking about how Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson
I saw your
was
post.
whitewashing. I'm so sick and fucking tired of that bullshit argument. The director of Ghost in the Shell was like, no, it's not really that big of a deal. And Motoko doesn't really have a distinct race for the shell. And at the same time, the film did everything that a lot of these critics praise other films for, opening up a discussion about race and identity. And it was like, no. And it's like people just forgot that, you know, there were other Japanese actors, like other Asian actors that were in that film, like Beat Takeshi, you know, Beat Takashi Takatano, and some of the other supporting roles. So you're like, oh, boycott it, don't support it. Well, you didn't support the other Asian actors in the process. And then and then, you know, the whole stuff with Searching. It made a little bit of a profit because it was made for so little.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it should have made more, especially with all the controversy about Ghost in the Shell and how it was whitewashing and support Asian actors. And then did a lot of the same people go and see Searching? No.
Nope.
So yeah,
They
Searching
obviously,
is a
they
great
obviously
example.
didn't see you show Cowboy Bebop either. Did they got canceled after
No.
a year?
Yeah, exactly.
But Searching was great. I love Searching. It deserved a lot more than it got.
This is from JWNJ again. What's my favorite Stuart Gordon movie? And it's Stuart Gordon, not Jeffrey Combs. That's a little in joke between me and Matt. Because I did a review of Castle Freak years ago, and I was like, starring Stuart Gordon. It's like, no, that's Jeffrey Combs. Reanimator. I mean, like that's the most obvious
I think
pick,
you
but I
said
would say,
I thought you had said it was directed by Jeffrey Combs, but
yeah,
maybe
directed by Jeffrey Combs. That might have been it. Yes, directed by Jeffrey Combs and starring Stuart Gordon. Yeah, I mixed them both up, I think. Just like I got Gillian, what is it, Gillian Anderson?
Star Trek 4,
Yeah,
Catherine Hicks.
yeah, Catherine Eggs.
But Stuart Gordon, what's your favorite?
I would probably say Reanimator. That's a classic. That's a really good one. I do like Bride of Reanimator. I like From Beyond. I don't love Robot Jocks, but I can get some entertainment from it. I'm gonna get in this thing and I'm gonna kick your ass.
My favorite will have to be Fortress.
That's another great pick, and I would like to get that on Blu-ray, but it's expensive as hell. I wanted to get the unrated version, but that went out of print super fast. I'm kicking myself for not buying it from eBay years ago when I had the money,
Who released it?
because I think it was some German company or whatever. Might have been DigiDreams, might have been the same guy. Oliver Krekel, possibly. I don't remember.
That guy.
But I don't know why that hasn't got another release. It's a Stuart Gordon film. You got Clarence Boddicker himself, Kurtwood Smith in it, playing another bad guy. Christopher Lambert is the star.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan's like, have I seen the film Polly? I've heard about it, never seen it. It sounds like a film I might not mind because I'm a big fan of Mouse Hunt, which is kind of a similar sort of thing. I think that's also a DreamWorks film, Polly.
I can't remember.
Apparently you saw it and you reviewed it. It was the
Yeah,
parrot.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paulie was voiced by what's his name? He was on SNL for a bit. He was in
Chris Kattan?
No, it was God, his name. He was in Pluto Nash as the singer.
Oh God, yeah. Fuck.
He was in
It's
Go.
not Chris.
He was in.
It's not Chris Parnell. Daryl Hammond.
Nah, it was older guy. It was Jay Moore.
Oh, Jay Moore. Okay.
Jay Moore.
Yeah, he was on the SNL for a short amount of time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, decent for a family film. Jay Moore was the voice of the parrot.
Would have been funny if it was voiced by Burt Young.
Even my computer laughed at that.
It's like, hey, Polly, why are you parrot, Polly? Why are you a bird? Thoughts on Braveheart? I like the film. I don't love it. I think it's overlong, and I think it's a little bit overrated, to be perfectly honest. There are other Mel Gibson films I'd rather watch, but it's not a bad film.
I agree. I like the film though.
From DJ Donnelly, funniest Arnold movie, in my opinion. Funniest Arnold film. The one that's like giving me the most laughs is honestly Jingle All the Way. I really like Twins, and it's a fun film, but like it's not like laugh out loud hilarious from one scene to the next. So I'd probably say Arnold comedy that's made me laugh the hardest. Probably that, or maybe Last Action Hero, because there's some really funny bits in that too.
Yeah, it's a funny one too. I agree. The same. Jingle All the Way, maybe the one I pick.
But Last Action Hero has some great stuff. Big Mistake and Charles Dance just cracks me up. In this world, the bad guys can win.
But that's a film that has a lot more clever writing than people give it credit for.
Absolutely. That film was way ahead of its time. When you see a lot of films that are very meta nowadays and get a lot of praise for being meta, that film was... Yeah. This is Mega Pork Chop. Hey, long time subscriber of both of us.
Good guy.
What do you make of the explosion of movie reaction channels? Good or bad? Bad. Like, just in all caps. I hate this fucking stupid trend. You have these people who are doing these fake as hell reactions to movies, putting all this copyrighted material in their videos. I put a clip in, it gets like flagged and lose monetization, or worse, they have like every scene, and they think they're funnier and more entertaining than they really are, or they don't even fucking try. I'm sorry, like I don't see a lot of entertainment of somebody just watching RoboCop and be like, huh, oh, okay.
No, that's not what they do. They're like, oh! And then the thumbnails are. Wait, we gotta each do okay, 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2. It's like I watch films too, but I don't react that way.
No.
Or like nice, but
and then there's some stuff where I might be like, if it freaks me out, I'd be like, oh shit, like,
yeah.
God damn. But nothing, that exaggerated. I mean, unless it's pissing me off. I have to admit, like, I'm watching a film, it's really pissing me off. I do get a little more animated. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is stupid. Why the hell are they doing this?
Morbius.
Um, Morbius. I did a whole live commentary on my Facebook page because I just couldn't stand it. But yeah, I hate this trend. A bunch of fucking talentless hacks getting more views than either of us will probably ever get on any of our videos anytime soon. And they're just like, oh my god, oh, and I'm watching Ghostbusters for the first time ever. And you're like, really? This is the first time you I don't buy it. I don't buy it for most of these channels either, that it's like the first time they've seen
I believe it's the
these
first time
films.
because we grew up in an era where we actually had to search for movies. But
Yeah.
now with the internet, there's like tenfold. A lot of these people grow with no video stores to look at, so that's why
Hmm.
a lot they just disappear into the ether. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Sadly.
I've had a lot of videos where I just put a trailer and then 2 months later, blot, just out of the blue.
Yeah.
But then they could have like 30 minutes of footage, it'd be fine. It's like, or that's what was that stupid Cinema Sins.
Yeah.
And people
God.
get mad at me. What are you complaining about? It's better than you. I'm like, good.
Or
Well,
the whole stuff with CinemaSins where it was like, oh, they would always defend them. They'd be like, oh, they're assholes. They've said it themselves. Like, it's a joke. And I'm like, there's a lot of people who legitimately take those videos like seriously. Like, they're serious criticisms. This is from Ryan. He's like, what do I like, Jurassic Park or Congo more? I'm gonna go with Jurassic Park, but I still really enjoy Congo. It's a fun movie, and it's not just for Tim Curry and his like "stop eating my sesame cake" with that whole thing where Tim Curry's eating this guy's sesame cake. But it's a fun adventure movie in a different way. But Jurassic Park is like one of the kings of like sci-fi action in that vein, based on a novel by Michael Crichton. What would you? What do you like more?
I like both. Right now, I'll pick Congo.
Oh,
But I like rooting for the underdog. So
so do I. This is from Jedi He's like, thoughts on the Uncharted games and the movie. Haven't played the games. I would like to. I've heard they're like Indiana Jones, which sounds like a lot of fun. I've never actually played any of those games. The movie looked like shit. Mark Wahlberg in one scene looked like he was auditioning to be Bennett in Commando. I'm like, what the hell? Why is he morphing into Vernon Wells as he ages? Like, this is kind of crazy. And I don't mind Tom Holland, but he's just miscast as Nathan Drake. It's not the right kind of guy. It'd be like casting Michael J. Fox as Indiana Jones. I love Michael J. Fox, but it's not the right fit.
mm-hmm.
Although I do like his Indiana Jones kind of parody, Nick Lang and
The Hard Way.
The Hard Way.
I played one of the games. It was fun. I didn't play the others. Didn't see the movie. Had no interest. It looked like trash, or at least forgettable.
Mm-hmm.
And no one remembers that movie. Well, that movie's going to disappear quickly.
I bet it's not going to get a sequel. I don't think it's going to get a sequel. It's from Ryan. Since I'm a fan of the Muppets, one of my favorite Muppet movies. I really like The Great Muppet Caper. That's a fun one. The first one, the Muppet movie, is a classic. It's the one where you have the Rainbow Connection song. The whole like, someday you'll find it, the Rainbow Connection, the lovers, dreamers, and me. La da da dee. Muppets from Space, I think, is really underrated. There's some really funny bits. There's a hilarious parody of Field of Dreams that cracks me up with Pepe. Build a jacuzzi and they will come. I didn't really care for the newer Muppets movies as much. I'm a bigger fan of the classic Muppet movies. Muppet Treasure Island is fun as well with Tim Curry. And the Christmas Muppet Christmas Carol is a classic. What are some of your favorite Muppet movies?
That's tough because I I've seen some of them, but I didn't grow with them as much as others, so I don't really have them familiar compared to you. So I would have to rewatch them again to
Yeah.
answer that.
I would say folks will probably be on for like 30 more minutes, and then we'll probably like call it a night. You know, that'd be like a long 3-hour stream. But you know, I haven't done one on my main channel in years, so I figured, like, you know, might as well go big. Ryan, he has to have either of us seen Star Kid. Yeah, I've seen Star Kid. It sucks. It's pretty bad. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a lame version of Guyver. That's really what it is. It's like a lame version of the Guyver or Guyver 2 with the kid from Jurassic Park, Joseph Mazzello, and he finds a space armor, fights space aliens. Have you seen Star Kid?
I barely remember I don't remember a thing about that movie other than the stuff you mentioned. Probably for good
It had
reason.
some it had some good practical effects. I will give the film that, but not a lot else. And I always thought the Star Kid itself, like the suit, it reminded me of Bicentennial Man. Like I kept like getting the two mixed up because it's a very similar design for the suit. And I think Star Kid came out first though. I think it's like a Trimark Pictures was trying to get into the film game, and they thought that was going to be a huge hit, and it was like a massive flop.
Was that around Power Rangers?
Yeah, yeah,
So
around the heyday of Power Rangers.
yeah.
It's from Johnny Jerry. Goodfellas or Casino? Ooh, both are really good.
Both are good. I'll pick Goodfellas.
Yeah, I'd probably pick Goodfellas as well, but both are good ones for sure. Casey, would Ghostbusters still be considered a classic? Had John Belushi, Bill Murray, Eddie Murphy, John Candy. Okay, so he's just saying, would it be considered a classic still if the roles were played differently? I don't think John Belushi was going to replace. Was he going to replace Bill Murray, or was he just going to be? I don't know initially what they were going to do.
Dan Aykroyd had written it for him and Belushi.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Belushi died.
I don't see. Here's the thing. I still think it could have been a fun film, but I don't think it would have been the exact same lightning in a bottle that it ultimately turned out to be. Because I think with Bill Murray there, you had a different dynamic with Dan and with Harold than you would have had if you had John, Dan, and like Eddie Murphy or John Candy. I think it still could have been a fun film, but part of me just doesn't think it would be quite the same. And I'm 100% fine with that. You know, I wish John was still with us, but if if this was a thing where, you know, John decided not to do it and then Bill still did it, like that would be the better thing for me, because I just can't see the Venkman character in any other way, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, it would have been a hit. I think it would have been a hit still, but I don't think it would maybe have the long-lasting effort or long-lasting momentum that
Impact.
it has an impact. Because everyone works well, but Bill, especially based on film, work exceptionally.
Yeah. And Eddie Murphy, you know, I love Eddie, but this is one of those things where he either could do this or do Beverly Hills Cop. And you know, I think that Beverly Hills Cop is definitely the better choice.
Let's say if he was able
Eddie
to do both,
that would have been interesting, and they probably would have given Winston more screen time. I definitely feel that they would have done that if Eddie was playing that character.
like
If he had,
say Beverly Hills Cop was 85, and then this was 84. Eddie Murphy would have been an even bigger star.
Yeah, he probably would have, because if you just think about it, you know, that would have been, the film would have been a mega hit still, and it would have had Eddie and his, and no offense to Ernie Hudson, but at the same time, I'm glad Ernie got that role because it was something for him to really showcase his own talents and
Mhm.
really leave his own mark on Hollywood history. John Candy, I love, but his idea for Lewis was just weird, and I don't think it would have worked with like big German schnauzers, and I don't know what John was really thinking there.
He wanted an accent that would not have worked for the
Yeah,
character. Rick
no,
Moranis has that right fit and energy for it.
exactly. And I just don't think the character would have the same, impact as it does now, because that's another role that Rick Moranis was able to leave his mark on, because he,
Exactly.
other than SCTV, like he wasn't really a guy that a lot of people in the mainstream really kept their eye on. Jonathan asked, "What do you think of the Street Fighter 2 animated movie?" It's definitely a lot better than the than the live action film, or any of the live action films for that matter. It's not one of my favorite animated films, but it's a good one. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember it being pretty good.
Pretty decent, yeah.
Speaking of Street Fighter, I tried putting on the Street Fighter DVD, like the collector's edition from like way back in the day from Universal. I actually have it right here. And it's one of those where the aspect ratio just looks like straight up ass on a modern television. It's like super tiny and unwatchable. So
88 Film
I guess
says the
I know, and there's a steel book from Mill Creek. This is another one from Ryan. He's like, "Have you ever watched MASH?" Yeah, I remember watching reruns of the show with my parents. I haven't seen it in forever though. I do know the bit of trivia that the theme song that's like catchy and fun and
Suicide is painless. It's from the
yeah,
movie. Because I
yeah, it's
remember,
from the movie.
yeah, I remember not minding the movie MASH, which had that. The show I didn't watch much of, but that's the song is "Suicide is painless."
Yeah, so dark. It's just pretty fucked up. Let's try to. I'm trying to see here. Ryan, that's one more like, which movie do you like more, Big Trouble in Little China or The Golden Child? That's tough, but I'm gonna go with Big Trouble. I do really like The Golden Child. It's a lot of fun, but I'm gonna give Big Trouble in Little China the edge because I remember that's a film I remember renting from Hollywood Video or Blockbuster. I think it was Blockbuster. I remember renting it when I was like a teenager, and I just drawn to the cover art. I was like, "Whoa, this is cool looking." And then I watched it on VHS, and I was just mesmerized by it and just fell in love with the movie instantly. And I do remember the DVD being one of the first DVDs I also remember buying. I think it's another one I think we got from Costco, because Costco used to have like DVDs. They don't really do that anymore. But what's your pick?
The Golden Child, only because it's my personal favorite comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I pop it in, I laugh throughout the entire film and gives me a good feeling because of that. But I love Big Trouble in Little China. It's one of my favorites as well. Good year for movies.
Yes. Jedi Zilla is like, thoughts on the Ryan Cannell review of the Batman. I'm not familiar with this. I don't really know what to say. I can't really say anything about that. Sorry.
I only know a little bit of it. The thing is, he liked the film. It was something stupid. The guy likes to say stuff to get a rouse out of people, and people took it too seriously and wanted to threaten him. I'm like, I don't mind I don't always agree with the guy's stuff, but he actually didn't mind the movie. He liked it. He's one of those channels that, and I understand it to a point where, you know, woke stuff, I'd being against it, all that stuff. But I think his mistake was the Batman was the wrong choice for a movie to take on.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Batman, I don't know if you saw this. Did you see the leaked photos of Keaton in the new Batsuit? Because those actually got leaked recently. He looks good. So
did have Ezra Miller in handcuffs behind him on the ground while Cops plays on the background with the theme music. Bad boys,
what you gonna do?
There's Ezra Miller on the ground and Batman, Battle T's beating the shit out of him. Stomping a mud hole in his ass.
Like,
You stupid motherfucker.
I
You
could see
ruined the
him.
movie.
He's pulling a Sting to Jeff Hardy, a TNA, Bound for Glory.
You
just giving
stupid
him, just
motherfucker.
giving him that stare, just like
You threaten people's lives and you fucked the movie up and you're fucking jamoke.
just be like, you
You
fucking
fucking
dickhead,
pussy.
you fucking dickhead.
You fucking pussy. Ezra Miller, I always knew he was a fucking fruitcake, and now he's even actual fruitcake. He was a shitty actor, and now he's a shitty person. So
You want
shitty
to
on
get
all.
nuts, Ezra? Let's get nuts.
Or for him, I just let's get high or something. Whatever the hell his
Yeah.
malfunction is. Maybe don't drink and don't be a fool. Fool. Fuck it. Fuck Ezra Miller. He's a fucking. Don't you think? I mean, what do you think about that with Ezra Miller? What the fuck he's been doing?
The guy has some screws loose. He's got something wrong with him and needs to get some help. But at the same time, it's a repeated cycle of behavior. This is not the first time he's been involved in something like this. For all the shit that Will Smith is getting, let's take all his movies off of streaming, which I hate that anyway. I hate the precedent that shits because it's like, oh, let's punish everyone. Let's punish every single person that worked on any film that Will Smith was in, and just take their work off streaming. So a lot of people can't find it, and because fuck Will Smith. But really, what it is, it's like fuck everyone that was ever involved with Will Smith in any capacity. Which I hate that precedent. It's unfair, completely and totally. But with Ezra, he's done worse. He has repeated cycles of this kind of behavior, not just one slap. Yeah, the slap was heard around the world and it was in front of a wider audience, but Ezra has a much longer track record of just being a fucking
I thought
asshole.
you. I thought you said for a whiter.
No, 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 wider. Like what in terms of the scope?
I thought it turned a whiter. Like white.
No, no.
That's just the Oscars. So hey, Oscars so white. So it's a whiter
Yeah,
audience too.
yeah. Um,
The white boys from my cover teams. That's the
Johnny,
Oscars.
Johnny asks his thoughts on the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. I like the film. I grew up watching it on TV and stuff like that. I don't really care for the sequels. I don't think they're necessary at all. They're epitome of like, let's cash in on this successful movie. But I don't mind the first film, despite some dark connotations of it. I mean, they killed Santa Claus. I mean, Santa Claus is dead. And also just the body horror stuff of it. That's kind of horrifying. Like, what I don't want to be fat and have a beard and white hair and just turn into Santa Claus. Nope. Too bad. Trying to pick some other questions here. Trying to be a little starting to run out of gas, so I'm trying to pick some this one's good. My Dragon Fist 900. Star Wars prequels versus sequels. Which is worse? His opinion, the prequels are masterpieces compared to the sequels. I agree. I haven't even seen all the sequels yet. I still need to see Rise of Skywalker. But The Last Jedi is worse than any of the prequels. Hands down. No contest.
I absolutely agree.
I mean, the prequels at least have some really cool bits of action at times. The Phantom Menace has Darth Maul. It's better than Kylo Ren and his crybaby ass.
And it just, in its weird way, is still more respectful than the sequels were.
Yeah.
It didn't kill everybody. It didn't
No.
make those movies pointless. I mean, even Emperor Palpatine came back because he wasn't dead. And Luke Skywalker was a loser.
Drinking titty milk. Alien titty milk. The past must, the whole like, the Jedi must end.
Star Wars must end.
And then he dies and fades away into a cloud of dust, basically. God, I hate that movie so much.
The
and
last
and and Mark doesn't like it either. Like there was that whole like cease and desist kind of thing that happened from Disney later on. But Mark was on social media and he was expressing a lot of not necessarily animosity, but a lot of issues that were understandable. And then Disney was like, hey Mark, you better cut that out. Stop
but
doing that.
he should just come out and say it then.
Yeah.
It's been this long. If he
Yeah.
truly believes it, if he does, then just say it.
I agree. But I think he definitely does feel that way because you could see interviews at the time where he's talking about it and he's talking about how he just really didn't understand why they didn't consult him more about what they're going to do with Luke because he's fucking Luke. I mean, you're not going to consult the guy who's played Luke Skywalker and such a big part of the legacy of the series for so many years. You're just going to let this guy who's a troll take over the franchise.
Yeah, let's make a movie where it's the slowest space chase ever, and they're running out of gas.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big plot. And then let's go to a casino. Then no one gives a fuck about space casino.
Yeah, we'll have space horses or some shit about like some environmental message about animals or whatever.
You want to see more space horses? You'll get more in Rise of Skywalker, where they have space horses outside in space.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Riding around in space.
We've said this before, but I'll say it again. If I want fucking space horses, I will watch Kroll. Okay, that's what I will go do for space horses.
Ride of the Fire Mares, motherfucker.
Yeah, the Fire Mares. Last Jedi. Talk about Last Jedi is making my eye water. Fuck.
Fuck The Last Jedi. It's a piece of shit.
It's got stuff stuck in my head.
That's probably Ryan Johnson. He did that because he's
God.
mad that we're talking trash. But J.J. Abrams is trash too. He's trash.
You're gonna be fucking pink eye or some shit, Ryan.
Trash.
Nemesis. He's like, how do you guys feel about studios such as Disney editing films for language, mild nudity? I feel the same way my eye feels right now.
That's what I feel about Disney Plus.
Irritated.
Not to you guys. This is for Disney Plus. Fuck Disney Plus. They stick in their ass. They stick two of these up their ass, spread open, and put their head up it. Please. Disney Plus needs to stick these up their ass, spread it, put their head up it, and they think it'll smell like roses. I don't have Disney Plus. I will never get Disney Plus. You can suck my balls. They're killing my eyes. They're sniffing my balls. Fuck Disney Plus. How about they edit out of existence? How about them apples?
I wanted to continue, but apparently my fucking eyes don't want to allow me to after talking about Last Jedi. So I am going to call it a night. Thank you, Matt, for joining me. Thanks everyone else for joining me. I'm gonna go see what the fuck is wrong with my eyeball, and I will see you next time. See ya.
Have a good night.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It says we're still alive. It says we're still alive. I don't think Mike knows it. I think we're still live, Mike.
I know.
It says we're still
alive. We are? God damn it. End the broadcast.